Alright, good numbing chat room. Hello YouTube, hope you're doing well. Sorry for the kind of like all over the place start up here today. And so it took so long to start up. YouTube was being like hella weird when I went to fire this stream up. When I first went to start up, it said, forbidden URL, and I was like, what the heck does that mean? The second time it started up, it told me that we were already live, so I was like, okay, so I had to reset it. And now the third time's the charm, here it is now working. But it's still, like, that first attempt, I think, still technically went through, so I had to kind of get rid of that off YouTube, so it was a mess. YouTube was having a funny. But we're back. I know I said I was going to stream Atelier Yumiya today, but to be blunt, I am both very tired, and my throat is kind of been quite vicious on me today. And Yumiya, I'd be talking a lot, because we'd be spending a lot of time exploring and yapping. So I was like, you know what, no, I'm interested in see where the story goes in this. We'll do more HSR. This might end up being a shorter stream, like that, the one AI limit stream we did earlier in the week, where it'll be like closer to 2 hours, but we'll honestly just see how it goes. But, before we dive back into the story, I wanted to show this off, because I tried it for a bit yesterday after the stream ended, and I kind of like it a lot. It's a really fun event for the 2nd anniversary. It's literally a management sim. I've already done a fair bit of it, but it's a new day, so we can do day 3 and 4. You can't do all of it in one go. You can see, like, it's gonna go on. You get, like, 2, like, event days per real day. So that's, like, 16-ish days you have. Oh, damn, I made 281 trillion gold off screen, huh? Where's Sunday? There you go. But it is how it is. It's literally, it's very much like a cookie clutter, a cookie clicker kind of game. Oh, hey, Albert. Sorry, Albert. Just beat the shit out of him. Pressing on Albert unlocks the Albert gold coin drop most efficient for this game. But it is genuinely, everyone generates money as you go. You get revenue boost. And I think, hang on. Yeah, when I eventually get that one, I'll put Xiao Show there to maximize that boost. But it is literally what it is, and I just found it very, like, soothing and relaxing. You set up these characters, they generate money, you then spend the money to upgrade them so they can generate more. It's, like, super, like, brain rot kind of OG, kind of these upgrade things, but I like it. Sometimes it's the simplest things. And then you can upgrade it to make it so you earn more and more, so it gets even crazier and crazier. Oh, Lingsha will earn us more money. I don't have her anywhere. And then you get these little anecdotes here as well. While wandering the space station, you stumble upon Ranmei in a dim, abandoned cabin. You can barely make out the cold glint and needle in her hand, as if poking something in her hand. Her little creations gather around, chirping curiously from time to time. I'm here to join you. Your flawless masterpiece, Ranmei gives you a reward. End up as shredded as impossible, you end up poking yourself with the fabric. Yay! But then to show you, I mean, you can go to this screen, and you can level up the units. It seems to, like, be, like, an infinite amount, but it's just infinite amount of, like, extra wealth to get out of it. I think Lingsha gets just a passive buff, like she doesn't have a link. Some characters do better if they're linked up, like, the simple one that they start with is March and Himiko, get a bonus if they're both, on, like, both working. And then you can pull, quote-unquote, to get more staff or upgrade staff by getting them again. Hey, Rapper. Hey, Fei Xiao. Hey, Xiao Shou. Yeah, you get to feel good about yourself and pretend that you actually are, like, rolling these characters and are successful. But everything is just, it's literally just, like, a very old school, very low stakes management sim minigame, and I thought it was kind of fun and cozy, so I was like, you know what, yeah, sure, I'll start tomorrow's stream, like, highlighting it, because I think it's kind of, like, cozy. What's in the research? Oh, right, we can upgrade. So we're at phase 3, guest rewards market area. Yep. I don't know what this means by BB. I was thinking like billion, but I think like a trillion basically is a billion. I'm no like my math starts to like fade me after a while after that point, but I feel like we should have that, but maybe not. God damn. What's this? Anecdotes from the cosmos. The borehole blitz leaves behind trails around fucking quickly deploy the true tested unbeatable strategy. Oh hell yeah. Perfect strategy. Set up defense perimeter around planetary shields. But this all keeps on going passively when you're doing other stuff. I won't do both days because it does take a little bit, but I'll at least do one of the days. And then we'll get back to story, but it's a nice thing to warm up into as I kind of wake up and find my bearings. Pull the memory card twice? Okay, I can do that. The memory card are just passive buffs if you get them. You get them at random because of course you do. God, the revenue. Yeah, Rito 6 is all done, so we can start working on the Sunshow Lawfu. I need to level up one more time before I can get the Resplendent. Oh, Sparks! Oh, that is worrying. That is worrying. Hello, Sparkle. What are you doing here? Entertainment from the revenue, entertainment area 100%, and revenue from all boosts 60%. What area did it say she was in? Hang on. Oh, up here. Oh, goodness. We can level it up 10 times in one. We're at that point, huh? Okay. There we go. And then you actually get rewards for doing this. Like, it's very, like, passive, but I genuinely found this very charming. Hey, Rapper, what do you want? How's Parappa the Rapper doing? Convince her to agree to the deal, and if I imagine I say no. A goal now, you run into a talent scout pestering Rapper about a contract. The IPM always wanted to get a Galaxy Ranger on board. Baseball Bat Ninja, this initiate requests the Ninja Mantra I performed for the Cosmic Ninjutsu inscriptions be recorded and given to the IPC. Well, I'm worried about the potential traps in. For the IPC, no. Make up a lie to reject the offer. I see you. I'm just sitting there like, what is she doing here? I said I wanted to spend 100 diamonds, so I can just do that here. Make a golden invitation pull, which I can do. Yeah, in the top left is your like current objective you should be working towards. Which gets you huge bonuses if you hit it, which is why our finances are just constantly exploding up. So you always have things to do. But once the timer runs out for the scheduled day, you can keep playing. It's just you won't get any more objectives. So the amount it'll go up by will start slowing down. But because these will carry on going even when you're not playing. So you do just passively keep earning. So that's when you're supposed to come away and leave it to it. Thanks to the crew's help, Faith Shell takes you to the International Peace Corporation Sancho Division restaurant. It looks like an innovative menu that blends IPC and Sancho cuisine. She confidently orders a massive medium rare yellow boulder steak, wielding her knife and fork with grace. You've never been to a place like this. What should you do? This is when you try to recall some table manners. Pull out your phone. From an approach to soul efficiency, start eating the potted plant elegantly. Hey, we're going to redo that. There we go. Oh my goodness, did you see how much we just earned in one go there? And he wants to make 3 gold pulls. We'll use our standards first. Hey Dunhung. Hey Firefly. Aventurine? Oh boy, he should just say, hey, revenue with Topaz. Oh, okay, I don't have Topaz yet. Hey, King. I haven't actually seen what all the characters you can get for this are. Oh, March level 3. On her star level, which is significantly more important than what general level you make. The Black Swan! Revenue from the Oh, I would have thought hers would have been like, hey, if paired with Acheron, she'll just work really hard. You know, she's a general buff, got it. Oh, okay, in fact our revenue's gone up, I mean we're leveling up a character that we already have. Hey, Robin. And Dunhung. Where is Aventurine? Hang on. Oh, he's there. I was looking everywhere but where he was. If we get Topaz, maybe we'll try and sort that. Reached Linkshire 210. There. Got 154 trillion. Like, what do you mean? Whereas what I mean, we've gone all this, but it's like, this is still locked. So I'm like, is that billion? Am I missing something? Anyone supposed to do memories? I said only do 2, but come on. There we go. 500 billion per second. God, can you imagine? The world economy would just crash, but hey, you'd be like turbo rich. Conduct research. Venue revenue increased to 915 billion per second. Oh my goodness. Okay, that's the one we might not reach on this exhibition day. When in doubt, reboot. Time to call in some manic cads. Obviously, you beat the game in one save. And that's the exhibition done for today. And then it will show you the growth. It's going to skyrocket, yep. But I said I'll only do one day. I won't do both of them. I'll do the other day, like, after I finish the stream. Well, heck, I might end the stream with it later. Depending on how we feel. But yeah, that's that event. Anyway. Anyway. That story, huh? Off screen, because I was working on Castorice anyway, I finally went back and cleaned up all the treasure chests in all the other areas. Like I said I would. And all of the, if I go to the Grove to show an example, all of the nymphs. Which is easy, very easy to do. It's actually easier to do this than the origami birds. Because you just go to... Oh, it's one of the Anastopolises. Is it the one we... crashed? If you go back to your crash site, I believe it's here. Yeah, crash site and then click on this. Oh no, this is something else. Never mind, ignore me. There's just... Yep. Stonemason is fascinating. I didn't mean to click on you. Nope. Thanks for the achievement. Is it home? There's something you click and it gives you 10 crystals for free. And you spend 1 crystal for it to locate a nymph for you.
A short respite, then time for the next fight.
Also, yeah, I'm rocking Dragon Tails. Because Castorice is in a good position. Is it this one? Yes, okay. Anyway, to the Demigod Council. And when we get over there...
A short respite, then time for the next fight.
I'll show you what I've done for Cass. I finished off maxing out her traces. Her artifact set. I've gone for Poet's 4 set. With a heavy emphasis on health and crits. Like, you don't need attack because, like, she scales off her health. It's like this, you can see I've gone for crit and damage. It's not perfect. Because I did this literally only in, like, the span of a couple hours. So, of course, it's not going to be perfect. Crit damage. It was trying to get HP percent. But as you can see there, it ended up leaning on attack anyway. But that's fine. Health with this, with some crit rate. Health with this, with some crit rate and crit damage. And then health again here. The guide says you can do either health or quantum. But I felt like health made more sense. Up. So headsets getting all staticky. So that's kind of where I'm at. And I did actually finally, it was like the very next roll, I got her E1. I doubt I'll get E2, but we'll see what happens as we go. With all the events and everything, who knows, I might get lucky. I doubt it. But you never know. Also, I am aware that there's an animated wallpaper now, but you get it by guessing so many of like the brought gems, like that thing. And I looked at how many it was, and I was like, I think it's like 25,000. Keep in mind, 8,000 gems is something like £80 to like $90. I was thinking, I was like, that's like a nearly £300 or over $300 thing just for like an animated background. Like, that's deranged. Like, no. Sorry, there was an event thing to clean up. There was a notification to clean up. It's just saying an event's coming up. I genuinely took one look at that and I was just like, are you insane? Like, I know this is a gacha game, but no. I can't think of anything, like, more deranged. If I see anyone with it, I'm going to mock them, if I'm honest. I did see someone make a post saying, if you see someone with an animated wallpaper, they're the people you should use the support for, because they probably got like E6. And I'm like, yeah, no shit. Talaton, scale of justice, punishing the unjust, balancing the law. Those who think they can evade judgment do not realize the scale measure all transgressions. But anyway, last time we left off, Anaxa is kind of playing both sides, it feels like a little bit. We learned that he was studying a little too intently into souls, including losing his eye. And we also learned that our main character is technically dead, which is the reason why Castorice can make physical contact with us, because we're already, like, not within the living. Speaking of Cass, have you seen how wide her swing is? Look at how far this is. Like, compared to other characters, like, Facial leans forward, sure, and, like, I think the other two characters... Oh, no, Hua has no range, but she's also not the person you should be attacking with. But hers, she just reaches you.
Carefully into Lenten above, as the Theoros I have observed.
Alright, I forgot about Lygus. I forgot about not G-Man.
Citizens of Akama, Finan of Ides, Elysiae, and the Outlander.
Heading towards us.
What happened here?
I know about the poisonous fangs of that king snake through the golden threads.
Oh, we also learned the Flame Reaver isn't actually dead. Mighty sent a warning.
Check, but I admit I am now unable to do so.
What do you mean?
It is no longer about eloquence or arguments. I have been a demigod for far too long that I hardly have any humanity left. Before I realized it, I have
the fact that you could acknowledge it, Aglaya, already means that you're doing better than most demigods are.
To the people. This has come a lot sooner than I expected. But perhaps it is time. I need you to step up, Finan, in order for me to retreat behind the scenes.
Yes, this is my duty, but...
It is far easier for the Council of Elders to fool many than just fool one person. Their so-called more support is no more than a ruse to distribute power using words instead of lances. There is no glory in winning this debate. But that makes having respect for humans so much more priceless. Finan, you are a Chrysos heir without flaw, capable of relating deeply with humans.
I mean, technically yes, but also, didn't he fail the test? What do you mean without flaw?
I appreciate what you've taught me, Aglaya. I hope we'll live up to your expectations and win this debate.
Oh, you've done well, Lord Calictus. Let me take over and personally close this debate for today. Dearest counselors, let it be known that I sorely miss the blissful times portrayed in lyrical poems. Back then, Amphoreus was home to nearly 1,000 cities, each with their own local faith, while gods walked the earth and shared close bonds with humans. Yet, in the present, people from all over are forced to leave their homeland to seek refuge in the holy city, where they hope to rest under Kefali's protection. All of us have long been in the same boat, with no way out of this plight. We didn't have a choice in the past, but now the Council of Elders brings to the table a new possibility. All I have left is one question for you. Would you rather strive toward the unheard of Era Nova, or return to the prosperous Era Chrysia of our past? Make your choice. Now, which of the two would lead mortals to an ideal future?
No hesitation, I stand by Era Nova. Era Nova is a path of salvation the gods promised. We should not have doubts in the Flame Chase journey.
We all know that Era Chrysia is a thing of the past, Lady Kynus.
Please, enlighten me. How does the Council of Elders plan to turn back time?
Let the three titans of calamity be born, and Erechrysia is nevermore. But bring demise to those titans, and Erechrysia will descend upon us again. Know that the Council of Elders is never one to make empty promises. Look at who we have on our side. Anaxagoras, one of the Grove's 7 sages, and Castorice, Idonia's goddess of death. With the help of these 2 heroes, I can promise all of you that Erechrysia will exist once more.
Aren't they Chrysos heirs? They're supporting the Council of Elders instead?
That dude's like the assassin? Oh, maybe. Also, hey, man, hope you're doing well, dude.
It's clear from the start that these heroes do not get
You mean
along well in
Anaxia?
their
No,
group.
he's just a really arrogant scholar
Proof that Aglaya isn't fit to speak on behalf of every Chrysos heir.
that I think might
I'm
be
in
going
favor of
insane, but one thing at a
Erechrysia.
time.
Erechrysia!
You literally walked into 2 sides arguing about which way the future of the world should be going. Is doing alright and no? Oh, wait. Do you mean that the robot that's on like the right-ish of the screen? Well, I say robot, but it's the easiest way to compare it. Like the green head dude. Oh, him on the right now on screen. That's Anaxia. Or Anaxagoras.
Castorice? Why are you standing over there?
Yeah, alright. Yeah, we're in a debate between the Chrysos heirs and the, I forget what, the Council of Elders. The Council of Elders believe the Eon of the past should come back and we should get rid of the Chrysos heirs because their faith in the Titans will doom us all. Whilst the Chrysos heirs are like, well, no, that's the prophecy. We gotta do our bit to push forward towards the future to achieve Era Nova, a new future where humanity can survive on this planet because, you know, that black tide is coming in. But as it stands, Anaxia and Castorice are standing with the Council of Elders instead of the Chrysos heirs, despite being Chrysos heirs. But we learned a little near the end of the last stream that there was an agreement made with Castorice and Anaxia that Castorice would help Anaxia. So it's less that she agrees with the Council of Elders, more that she has a job to do. She has to serve Anaxia under an agreement. And so Anaxia coming to this side means she has to as well.
You finally arrived, Anaxa. So have you, Cass.
Of course, you know.
Don't worry, Aglaya.
And I genuinely think this man is slowly going insane, Anaxa.
But you continue to converse like
He's got exactly 15 days left to live because his soul is already dead, but a literal god that is already dying, are like splitting down the middle so both of their broken souls can hold together just so they can stay alive for a little longer. So he has 15 days left to live, and instead of spending it any reasonable way, he's just trying to like solve through a bunch of prophecies and solve for a bunch of problems surrounding souls. He's trying to get a conclusive answer as to whether souls do or don't exist, to such an extent that the reason why he's got an eye patch is because he sacrificed an eye to try and see into the heavens. So can we go there?
Tell me, dear citizens, if we successfully retrieve and
Which is also why I don't think he's really with the Council of Elders. I feel like he went to the Council of Elders solely for his own ends, because, you know, if you're dying in 15 days, why are you going to suddenly, like, join a political force unless you're doing it to use them for your own means, because you're going to be gone in a few weeks anyway, you know?
The answer is simple.
But Canis, the leader of this group,
The world of death
isn't aware of that.
and bring Amphoreus back to an era when all beings live forever. we'll usher in a new future that will be entirely different from the flame chase journey.
He's one of the 7 sages.
The members of the Council of Elders are discussing fervently.
Your proposal is much too idealistic. As long as the Black Tide still exists, how can we go?
There's nothing going on in Castorice's brain. Yeah, that she is just wide-eyed. There is nothing between those eyes right now. Bless her.
Remember what I previously said? Kefali's core flame is guarded by the secret power of the Council of Elders. Plus, Pagusa's water curtain will be able to block out any external perceptions. Tell me, dear citizens, have any of you ever seen even a glimpse of the threat that this person is talking about anywhere within the walls of this majestic holy city?
Isn't that just survivorship bias? But this place will become the Flame Reaver's target sooner or later. But if I say that, it reveals that the Crisis Heirs didn't successfully kill the Flame Reaver. Because also, yeah, that big, like, cloaked dude with the big sword that Mighty killed, he's not dead. Mighty sent us a warning saying, hey, by the way, he's back, so keep an eye out. But so if I say the first one, I'm just kind of revealing the Crisis Heirs failed their job to protect the city. So I kind of have to say, isn't it just survivorship bias?
Eliminate death. Then there's no need for us.
Oh, I think we say the whole thing anyway. Because they're bringing up the Flame Reaver as well. But yeah, Castorice is just there. She's just serving her purpose.
Citizens, let's loudly sing the blessed hymn. Oh, beautiful old world, where are you now? Oh, legendary Eracrysia, return
Yeah, Canis and the Council of Elders are trying to return to Eracrysia. And it's kind of like trying to return to literally the previous era of society. That's what they're trying to do. It's like, hey, we should go back to that era. And it's like, that's kind of not how anything, like, works. You can't just decide to go back to a previous era of society like that. But she's adamant she can do it.
After the destruction of the 3 Titans of Calamity, the Flame Chase journey will have to end.
The members of the Council of Elders are cheering in excitement.
This is bad. The masses are now totally riled up.
Come on, Aglaya, British them down. Whip out your fancy accent and talk them down. It's possible with lower odds, yeah, exactly.
Anaxa, pray tell. Everything that you've mentioned hinges on the premise that we can find Thanatos' existence, right?
Thank you, Lady Aglaya, for still caring about this city. However, dear citizens, we are truly fortunate and blessed. For Castorice, Idonia's goddess of death, will surely find Thanatos under my guidance.
What?
Even Final's like, hang on a minute. Castorice is actually like the chosen one of death, and she has had no ability to find death in the millennia, because they said that she's been around for a millennia that she has been alive. How cocky are you, Anaxa?
With that, I solemnly promise that the core flame Lady Castorice brings back will be personally managed by the
That's probably the
Council
real
of
reason why
Elders.
Castorice is absent-minded. If you've been alive, like, you know, that long, if there's like another civil debate, you're like, look, if I just need to stand here, I'm just gonna stand here and do my own thing. Like, she's just zoned out. Like, she's probably just having a nice daydream right now.
Thereafter, if we are able to garner the support of all of you at the Citizens' Assembly, we shall spare no effort in ensuring that the Eracrysia will return to our world once again.
Members of the Council of Elders are cheering in excitement.
With the balance shattered.
Oh no, it's time for Robot. I've been calling him Robot G-Man.
Into Lenten above, as the Theoros I have observed.
Because when he's talking calmly, it sounds like he's trying to do the same kind of, like, weird vocal thing that, like, G-Man does in Half-Life.
Akama has chosen her destiny. The issue up for discussion at this Citizens' Assembly shall be modified to the suspension of the Flame Chase journey. This resolution shall be put up on the wall.
I could be playing Katamari Damacy instead of this with Roman shit. Yeah, Castorice is like, man, I could just whip out my phone right now and just play literally anything else. Bloons Tower Defense 5, here I come. It's like, Castorice, no! The members of the Council of Elders are cheering in excitement.
Aglaya, dear Aglaya, what has caused your heart to soften? You also don't seem to be as quick-witted as before.
Wag your tongue as much as you like. Since the flame chase journey has been preordained by the prophecy, our failure has never been on the cards.
Well then, I guess we'll find out if that's true at the Citizens' Assembly.
Lygus announces the conclusion of the debate, and the attendees part ways. Castorice, what's going on? Azel said. Speak to Castorice and learn what's going on. Hey, maybe not as Castorice. Hey, Castorice. Hey, Castorice. Hey, you know how you canonically have a twin sister? Wait, look, I found her. I'm kidding, I'm kidding. I think the biggest thing is that Castorice's twin sister and Castorice's dragon have the same name. And there's a part of me that's like, is it because that is the twin sister that's transformed into a dragon? Or is it because Castorice named the dragon after her twin sister? You know, like, which is it? Because I'm more likely to be convinced on the latter, but still.
It seems that when I sent you to look for Anaxa, I unintentionally facilitated your partnership with him instead.
My apologies, everyone. I know that you have many questions to ask me. I will answer them to the best of my knowledge.
In that case, please tell us as much as you can.
That needs an edit where it's just Cassius thinking about the... yeah. Is it a remaster, or is like... Because I know there was an announcement surrounding Katamari, like, not that long ago. Was it just a remaster of one of the older games, or is it like an actual new game? So I feel like it was like 3-4 months ago there was an announcement surrounding it. I imagine it was just a remaster of one of the older ones, but I'm sure I heard something about something to do with that, with Katamari coming back. So I imagine it's just a remaster, but it just, I remember hearing something about it. What happened when you went to look for Anaxa?
In actuality, he showed me a past that was both long and heavy.
The reason I say this is as I've mentioned earlier. The answer was hidden in my journey unto death.
Anaxa, you were in the Netherrealm?
Yes, I am but a living dead man now, but that's not important.
Oh, and every now and then, because Anaxa is like technically dead and has a god attached to him that's also technically dead, so he has 15 days, every now and then he kind of like slips into visions of like the river into hell. Like he sees the Netherrealm, they call it in this, but he's like, he keeps on slipping in between like the existence and not hell. So he's seeing and learning things from death, beyond death, that he can bring it back into life. Ziggy, the biggest Katamari fan, go here. Switching to Castorice's POV.
Have you heard of this tale before?
Oh, hey, this is that's Castorice's twin sister.
A tale about the ocean god's treasured pearl, our hometown. It was a seaside town which enjoyed the ocean breeze and glorious, peaceful times, thanks to the wisdom of its ruling queen. Until one day, an evil dragon descended upon the town. Its wings were large enough to blot out the sun, while its claws were sharp enough to rip the waves apart. It barged into the tall tower and devoured the queen's beloved daughter. It even settled itself in her bedroom, like a tyrant king. The queen assembled 300 warriors who managed to subdue the evil dragon by chaining it up. However, when the queen slit open the dragon's belly, she realized that the princess had long since been
This is going to be the Charmony Dove story. This is like the third time they've told us about the dragon that ate the princess. They killed the dragon, found the prince, like what was left of the princess within it, tried to resurrect the princess using black magic, and the princess ended up becoming a dragon. I get it. I get it. That's why the dragon that's with Castorice is probably actually is the reincarnation of like her twin sister or some shit. Drakengard, yeah.
It was then that a devious
But it's like the Charmony dove in Penacony, where it's like, have you heard the tale of the Charmony dove? It's like, Robin, you've told me this story like 6 fucking times. And then Sunday shows up and goes, have you heard the story? I'm like, no, not you too.
Called this process the secret art of alchemy. The princess was reborn. The queen was overjoyed, blissfully unaware that the evil dragon's soul still lurked within the princess's body. As revenge, the evil dragon swallowed the poor queen, the glib liar, the courageous warriors, and all of the town's innocent civilians in a single gulp. Worse still, the souls of the
But the fact that it's Policia telling the story means that, like, it's less that this is actually what happened, because Policia is the twin, and is probably much more likely that it's just going to be symbolic of something to do with Castorice, considering how often it's brought up around Castorice.
The terrifying death had consumed all. Thereafter, our hometown fell into ruin as well. Until...
Until?
Actually, I don't know what happened next either.
Oh my... It seems that
Oh,
you
her
still
sister was
like to
wheelchair
whet
bound.
people's appetites even after all this time, Polixia. So, according to
Oh,
your
there's that
story,
god that's attached to
this is how I
Anaxa's
used to
soul,
look.
by the way. Like, both of them are, like, dying,
Practically
so but
a
they're
mirror
attached.
image.
But only other beings that are attached or under the blessing of Titans can see Cersei's. Everyone else can't see Cersei's at all and assume that Anaxa's just rambling to himself after time.
And yet, what exactly is this?
A miracle that I created with alchemy. As for what it is and how I was able to accomplish it, I'll keep the answers to myself for now.
Oh, my goodness. Is this cliffhanger really necessary?
Quiet, Titan. Continue to enjoy this splendid play, and the truth will naturally reveal itself.
Dragon, huh?
She uses a Dragon God OP
I've
again.
heard this legend before.
In that case, what do you think of it?
I think that this so-called alchemy was a tenuous analogy added to the story by future generations. After all, you've never heard of a tradition of alchemy in your hometown before, have you?
Indeed. Before I left home to pursue my education, I never even knew that anybody was looking into this area of study.
What happened to the side of your face, Policia? What is with this, like... It's almost like a dark hand over the side of her face.
Therefore, we can just treat this tale as a fable told to young children.
A fable, you say? If so, what moral is it trying to impart to the kids?
I guess it might be the concept of equivalent exchange?
Oh? I thought the moral might be closer to something like honor the dead. What? At a loss for words?
No, I merely realized that we're both thinking of the same principle. If life is priceless, then there is hardly anything else in this world that is of equal weight to it, right?
Indeed. As expected of the wisest scholar in the land.
You flatter me. Why don't I ask you a question as well, as a form of equivalent exchange?
Of course. What is your question?
Mike, I have a question, Policia. When is Elysia coming into the story? Because I'm looking at the banners and I don't see her. And for those who don't know, the current banner is Castorice. The next banner in 3 weeks' time is Anaxa. After that, it's going to be Hyacinth, or like Pink Barbara, as we keep calling her. Then after that is Cypher, who is a cat girl thief.
If I impart
And Cypher's apparently in this story chapter. We've yet to bump into her, but I have seen images online, and I'm like, wow, they really cooked with her design. Like, when we get to it, you'll see what I mean. Like, her design is fantastic.
Would you use it to resurrect someone you loved?
What? What kind of strange question is this? I got it. You're just trying to get me to tell you whether I like anyone, right?
Let's just leave it at that. That was rude of me.
Yes, I would.
Oh?
Death is inevitable. In the days to come, I'm certain that someone whom I cherish deeply will leave me for good. If such a mighty power really existed, I think I would use it without hesitation. After all, you, me, and the rest will all have to face that fateful moment eventually. My time is finally here. However, perhaps because of my firm belief in the immeasurable value of life, I am unable to complete the trial.
You shall wither, and through that, the dead will sprout again from the remains, and be reborn with the dead flame. It is a pity that fate is such a cruel mistress.
Is there no other way of interpreting those words?
I'm afraid that the meaning is clear. Between my sister and me, one must pay the price. Our trial can only be completed when the one chosen sacrifices her life. I'm afraid that the prophecy might even have selected a pair of twins for this exact purpose.
Fortune makes fools of us all.
My sister is prepared to sacrifice herself. And yet, I can't do the same. How absurd. My time is almost up, but I'm still afraid to welcome death. What should we do? If I'm ultimately not able to make up my mind...
Since Chaos is willing to guide all of us and leave this trial to the end, there is still plenty of time for you to ponder.
That's right. Don't allow the fog of an uncertain future to cloud your mind.
Trial, prophecy, the topics that they're discussing seem familiar. But these three people must not have left their names in the epics. Otherwise, I would have some recollection of this.
Amphoreus' history before the Titans were born was complete chaos. Is that not strange by itself? I have long held 3 hypotheses about this. However, let's continue watching for now.
Calypso, Polixia, and this warrior. I seem to have met him somewhere before.
Is it coming back to you? I know this was like 1,000 years ago or whatever for you, Castorice.
Regarding this matter, Nias, are you confident that you'll complete your trial?
Of course. Though, I am worried about what will happen once I've emerged victorious.
Looks like you have made up your mind.
Yes, this is the safest course.
This like fades to black so we can move location. Like keep doing it.
Completely separating courage, honor.
I will say that as the Amphoreus has gone on, I do feel like they're using like the black screens less often. There was a huge critique with 3.0 that they did the black screen like all the time, and it's like, oh, it's almost like it's being stretched into 8 patches, and so trying to fill it all in constantly is overworking the staff. But it feels like they're kind of get a better balance of it now.
You really know how to make things difficult.
Please, young lady, witness my fall and demise. Lady Calypso, you shall host the soul-rending ceremony.
I do not understand. Why would you dare to sacrifice yourself for a future that you won't get to witness?
Because this is our destiny. The power that resides within me is so intense that I will one day be engulfed by it. Furthermore, a valorous death before glorious return has always been the path I chose to walk. A journey I began long ago. If your sister or Chaos were in my position, I believe they would make the same choice as well.
I'm not that brave. I don't know how I'm supposed to face such a serious affair.
Despite being Death's chosen one, it seems you still don't know how to face it. Let's chat, young lady. Perhaps I shouldn't end my journey so hastily. Since there's still time, I'm not worried about letting fate wait a little longer.
Of course. This warrior is Lord Nias. As the embodiment of Nikador's divinity, he entrusted his life to us and allowed humankind to end his madness. That means that what I'm currently seeing before my eyes is in fact...
Looks like one hypothesis of mine has already been proven true. These heroes are the true forms of the Titans, before they attain their divinity. If so, the chosen one of death that he speaks of is actually...
Polixia? Is the previous form of Thanatos? But her appearance...
is identical to Kaz.
If this is true, as long as we can find out where she went, we'll naturally be able to figure out the location of the Death Titan.
But before that, we first need to witness what ultimately happened to Lord Nias.
Hymns of Dawn. Oh, does that mean I have story cast as well? Yep. I wish I could compare stats. I wish it would let me look. I want to see like what story cast is like compared to mine. I'll keep mine, but still.
Lord Nias's honor is sealed here.
Incredible. The honor in this child's soul is so light.
Nikador's courage is a testament that they have never once retreated from a battle.
I've heard that these words are still engraved in Castrum Kremnos even today.
In Castrum Kremnos?
It didn't occur to me that they were actually part of an alchemical formula.
Because in all like the like promotion and build up, especially surrounding characters, we keep on seeing these like super deranged, far more out there areas that kind of break away from like this Romany Greek or Greekly Roman aesthetic that everything kind of has. And it's like, when do we think that's going to be? Because it always seems like the main areas we go around are like the same kind of group of like few areas, and all of them have this kind of fancy aesthetic to them.
Sealed within this
like, when are we going to start going to like hell? That we know now that we know there's a literal nether realm in Amphoreus. When are we going there?
They use their own body as our...
And is it going to be like fucking Dante's Inferno? We're going to have to like, go fight like 9 circles.
Pervasive spread of madness. They are acutely aware that if the end times were to arrive, there would be nothing left in this world to conquer.
I believe that his tenacity is sealed within this statue.
Before we fought,
and I made a comment last, like, I think, I can't remember which stream it was, I think it was the last stream. Or it might have been AI Limit. We're talking about, like, as much as I love how many stories, like, adapt Dante's Inferno, I wish there was more that explored Purgatorio and Paradiso. And it was brought to my attention immediately afterwards that, technically I sort of got what I wanted, just not the whole thing in Shin Megami Tensei 5. Because it ends in the Empyrean, which is the peak of Paradiso. Or the Heaven Throne. And I was like, okay, so I didn't get all the layers, like all the like the circles of Paradiso, but I did technically get the Empyrean. So, score 1 for Shin Megami Tensei, I guess.
Honor, courage, tenacity, sacrifice.
And finally, the only thing that remains.
But I think it would be cool if more people like explored Dante's Divine Comedy in media beyond just Dante's Inferno. Because hey, do you know that Garden of Eden is in the Divine Comedy? Do you know it's not in Paradise? It's in Purgatory. The end of Purgatorio is the Garden of Eden.
Cheer up, young lady. There is no need to shed tears over a glorious death.
All farewells in this world are sorrowful, Lord Nias.
No, young lady. As a warrior, I have witnessed too many bitter deaths. But now, all I feel is peace. I did not know until this moment that mortals could live their lives in such a way.
Although only a sliver of your soul remains, you remain so optimistic. Or maybe the truth is that you aren't able to feel sorrow anymore.
To be honest, I don't know either. But I am certain of one thing. This is not an acceptance of death nor apathy toward it. It's not even a feeling of despair. I am just enjoying what remains of my life to the fullest.
Enjoying?
Indeed. Along this journey that we've taken together, not only have I changed the world, I myself have also changed in the process. And now I have reached the journey's end. When I look back and see the grand epic that I've personally written, how could I not revel in that fact?
But when you depart the mortal realm, won't all of your accomplishments be reduced to nothing? Separation and death are two sides of the same coin. Reconciling this doesn't come easily for a mortal.
Finally, let me recount to you a story of mine, young lady. The first time I returned from the battlefield, I felt extremely hollow. The calamity had devoured everybody on the battlefield but me. When I returned to the city alone,
small thing, but you know what I've noticed? All three of like the ancient beings that went on to become titans that are in this conversation, you can't see their eyes. Calypso has her eyes closed.
Nothing but an empty shell.
Nasus is covered with his helmet. And not Cass has had the only eye that we can see closed the whole time as well. None of their eyes are visible.
Alone to the barracks. On the way back, I encountered someone. It was a crazed scholar looking at the night sky and muttering to himself by the side of the road. Although I tripped over him and fell, I wasn't angry in the slightest. And maybe because I saw myself in him, I inexplicably asked him a question. Do you think that it'd be better if we just died on the roadside like a couple of stray dogs? To my surprise, he shrugged his shoulders and sighed.
To someone who is currently experiencing death, dying and living afford the same amount of bliss. Now please go away and don't block my starlight.
Are you trying to say that there is no difference between living and dying? For they are both journeys that lead toward death?
That's exactly what life is. And death is but a scale to measure how valuable the journey was. Journeys and epics are only glorious and magnificent because all things eventually fade to dust. Therefore, young lady, don't detest your fate. Instead, willingly and respectfully embrace it.
The embodiment of strife telling me about the majesty of the world.
Indeed. I believe that when the fated moment eventually arrives, you will be able to understand my words. It is time for me to knock on death's door. I will set up a long table at the end of the road, and humbly await your arrival. When that moment finally comes, let us drink and be merry then.
I knew this day would eventually come.
Now where are... Oh, we're back here, okay.
Are the both of you ready?
Mm-hmm. Polixia, I'm here.
Castor was like, wait, what the fuck?
This is quite interesting indeed.
Hey Rick, Ashtray, hope you're doing well, buddy.
Is this Polixia's sister?
Yes, Castorice, it's you from like 1,000 years ago.
Me? Now, it's time for us to fulfill our promises.
With your twin.
Afraid? What are you afraid of?
That I won't be able to do it.
You shall wither, and through that, the dead will sprout again from the remains, and be reborn with the dead flame. As foretold in the prophecy, and according to our vows, once it all ends, we must face our fated moment head-on.
Yeah, but Castorice, you're about to send your twin sister off to death. You can be a little bit more, like, I don't know, less, like, prophecy talk and more caring about your sister talk? I don't know.
Even if it was prophesized, do we have no say in the matter? It's so unfair. Why are we the only ones who are forced into mutual destruction? Let me do it, sister. Let me be death's sacrifice. I was never long for this world anyway. But you're different. I was the one who wasted your life after all.
You're wrong, Polixia.
Oh, that's how you pronounce it. Polixia. I've been saying Policia.
I don't think that my life was wasted. Just the opposite. When I finally arrived at this destination...
I like how in this vision of the past, like these crystallized glimmers of memory, Castorice's eyes are still glowing through it. Like, they're still crystal clear, despite everything.
It was you who sowed the seeds for this sea of flowers.
But then what else is new? Hoyoverse as a company and like really paying attention to detail when it comes to eyes all the time.
Besides, I have lived a fulfilling life. Even though I was fated for sacrifice, none of the things that I've experienced will dissipate. Instead, they'll forever live on as memories inside your head. Will they not?
How could my memories of you ever compare to the actual you?
Well then, tell me, what exactly are we?
I don't know.
I don't know either. But regardless of what the answer is, regardless of how we're shaped by others, or even by this world, ever since we were born, the fact that we existed was predestined, and nothing could erase it. This is why I will always, always be by your side. We're twins, after all. All right, my dear Polixia. It's time to extract my heart and light the flame of death. After that, use it to plant the first bud in the prophesied new world.
imparted my knowledge of the art of alchemy to you. Would you use it to resurrect someone you loved?
Death is inevitable. In the days to come, I am certain that someone whom I cherish deeply will leave me for good. If such a mighty power really existed, I think I would use it without hesitation. Even now, my answer remains the same. This is why, sister, I promise you, in the prophesized new world, I shall plant the first bud on your behalf. Go now. Return to the ocean god's treasured pearl, our hometown.
Because they show us, like, art of this area, but it's like, are we going to go get to explore here at some point? This is what I was talking about earlier, where it's like, we have a lot of Roman-esque environments in Amphoreus that we've gone and checked out, but we're aware of a lot more of these, like, broken areas, these, you know, destroyed fantasies, these hellscapes borderlining like the Netherrealm that are just like we see these images of, and it's like, are we going to get to explore that before Amphoreus reaches its end? Which, keep in mind, we're now in version 3.2, a patch every 6 weeks. This is going on until 3.7. We are 3 months into a 10 to 11 month long storyline. So it's like, we've still got like another 6 months before potentially some of this could even show up. Like, real time, 6 months. It's going to be winter before this story finishes.
I shall open wide the entrance to the Netherrealm and grant you a second life. The living beings on this earth shall respond to my call.
Like, we'll be getting ready for Genshin 6.0. We'll be knee-deep in the 2-point series for Zenless. Like, Hoyo versus games, all of them are going to keep moving, yet we're going to be in Amphoreus still here, because Amphoreus is going to be that long.
Remember, do not look back on the land of the dead, and do not stop moving. In the new world promised by the prophecy, march toward your new life.
What I should probably start doing, actually, now that I think about it, every time the new patch drops, like every 6 weeks, I should start, like, when I, like, starting my stream before the recap, because I usually skip the recap, because I usually remember, like, what I need to remember, because like, it's going to get to a point where, like, it might draw from something from 3.0, and when the next patch drops, I'll be like, hey, that was 4.5 months ago.
As for the price of our equivalent exchange, let me be the one to pay it.
Or if there's like a plot twist in 3.7 that like ties to something from 3.0, we're screwed. Because that's like, hey, do you remember something from 10 months ago? I'm like, no.
So I was unable to completely fuse their soul into my own body. However, being able to glean all this from them is exciting enough. I'm certain of this now. Before the Titans that we are well acquainted with were born, a group of heroes roamed the land. These heroes followed a prophecy and took possession of divine authorities one by one, until they eventually became the pantheon of the new world. Just like the flame chase journey of today, Amphoreus' history is cyclical in nature.
Huh. What a startling revelation. This means that the demigods, who bear the core flames, will also become the new titans at the world's end, thereby shaping a new world?
Yeah, if the prophecy goes as planned, Glaya will be the replacement titan, Cypher, potentially us as well, because we, you know, got the approval from Oronex.
I believe that this is the truth behind the Era Nova, as mentioned in the prophecy.
We're just going to replace the Titans with new Titans for the next era.
This is utterly unbelievable. Besides, those twins in the past, even if they really are Thanatos, their whereabouts are still unknown even today.
Are their whereabouts truly unknown? Didn't Polixia mention that seaside town? The birthplace of alchemy and the tale of the dragon. In our world, there exists a city which perfectly matches that description. Styxia.
As in the river Styx? I mean, I guess that makes sense where the Titan of Death would be.
But the people there worship Fagusa and bear no relation to Thanatos. I have also never been to that place, as in the time of Idonia, it had long turned into underwater ruins.
Take this.
This is...
the new Sporist masterpiece, the Philosopher's Stone. It was made by transmuting all of the sage's wisdom.
Of course, talking about alchemy.
With their flesh.
You always talk about alchemy. Of course there's a Philosopher's Stone, because that's always the end-all goal of any alchemist.
Remember? I've mentioned before that the art of alchemy is all about conversion, tempering, and ascension. This process also applies to the pursuit of truth. Regardless of how unbelievable this sounds, the truths of the world have been refined from the impurities. Think about the story of the dragon. This stone will lead you to your real hometown, allowing you to reform the door to the Netherrealm and discover Thanatos' fate.
You still look as confident in your victory as ever. But what if your conjecture is wrong?
Simple. I shall merely admit to the entire world that my experiment was a failure. However, my line of thinking will not fail because I have already planted the seeds of doubt into the hearts of the masses. Actions speak louder than words, Castorice. With the assembly about to begin, don't forget the promise you've made.
Anaxa, you're insane.
I've already searched for so long. I'm willing to try one more time. While we converse...
Oh yeah, I nearly forgot about that we're
so
technically
sorely
dead and
awake.
our soul is like just wandering separate from us. Yeah, maybe like sort that out.
But before I leave, I have another question. What exactly did we witness just now?
That was the world imprinted in Kefali's soul. If we are to prove its existence, you must take the final step. Go. Do not disappoint me.
I understand.
Hey, child of humanity.
Don't get antsy. I still remember the question you posed to me. As a scholar, I do not wish to offer up ambiguous conclusions. Let's discuss this topic again when she manages to find the evidence.
I merely wanted to ask, was that stone transmuted from your heart? If so, rebirth is no longer an option for you.
Oh, I don't think that was on the cards for Anaxa to begin with.
Why not? When I was a child, I lost someone dear to me. When I was a teenager, I lost my faith. A while back, although you saved my life, I also lost my soul in the process. Now I'm merely forsaking my body. What's the big deal?
Why are you always finding ways to die? Isn't it good to be alive?
This is but a necessary sacrifice on my path to transform into the purest of them all.
Can someone who's dead even claim to be the purest of them all? Furthermore, if your hypothesis is proven correct, does it not just confirm that the myths are true, and thereby invalidate all your theories?
No, it's just the opposite. If my hypothesis is correct, it means that I can actually ascend to godhood and reshape this absurd world
he's doing the villain thing. I can become a god. No. Oh, hey, back to us then. Okay, so we've learned everything we need to learn from that. Currently,
that's a lot to take in at once.
yes, there's no kidding, Finon. Alright, Aglaya, how are you going to Britishly explain this one away?
Lady Aglaya, please, let me explain.
Go on.
You know that the core flame of death has always been the greatest unknown regarding the Era Nova, which is why both you and Kindness desire to gain the power to control that core flame in the approaching Citizens' Assembly. Professor Anexa has come to a consensus with Kindness. They want to suspend the trial once Thanatos' core flame is reclaimed, hoping thus to eradicate death from this world. If they're successful, then the flame chase journey will cease, and Akama can enjoy everlasting peace. But I know this runs counter to your wishes. So long as we do not usher in Era Nova, the Black Tide will never be eradicated. Even with Lord Mighty on the front line, and the Black Tide not posing an immediate risk, the danger nevertheless remains. Honestly, it's difficult for me to assess the pros and cons in this decision. But someone must bring the core flame before we can begin negotiations over it. The Titan could be very near. I cannot let this chance slip by. Besides, someone has to make this trip to bring back Mrs. Soul.
Well said. You already had every reason to seek an audience with Thanatos. It's that great performer who has weaponized your wishes and placed us in this difficult situation. A world without death. Do you desire that too?
If fate dictates that my path must oppose yours, I will do all I can to resist it and protect what I aspire to achieve. Lord Mighty showed me that without taking the first step, all talk of what follows is moot.
Castorice, you've changed. Unsure of what to say, but offer a smile. Have mercy, Aglaya. Stay your threads. Have mercy,
I'm not
Aglaya.
going to punish her for that. I have always hoped to hear you speak your mind, Cass. And I am glad to have heard your true thoughts. Styxia. I visited that place in the past. Though it is now an
Of course you
island
have.
surrounded by the river of Soul's torrents, it's not hard to see its former splendor. Go. I will not stand in your way. As for you, you are someone who has cheated death. I believe you have more than enough reason to make the trip with Castorice and meet the god of death himself.
Oh, are we going to Styxia?
Castorice, I too look forward to your journey. I wonder what kinds of new interpretations...
Is my whining that I want to be able to go to, like, these dark, morbid locations actually going to be answered?
Thank you, Lady Aglaya.
Instead of just constant Romany Greek and Greekly Roman paradises?
I hate to put a damper on this heartwarming moment, but...
Yeah, well, what's up, Phynon?
If Styxia is now an island surrounded by the river of Soul's torrents, then how do we find a way in? Lady Chibi.
Oh, is this how they're going to introduce Cypher? It's like, hey, no, Cypher will get us there, because Chibi's out of commission because, you know, one of the triplets are straight up dead.
The answer is quite simple. In the myths, Zagreus once made the domain of the dead their treasure vault. That is to say, they could enter...
Oh, so if we find, like, the crisis heir of Zagreus, we can... Yeah, is that Cypher? Cypher being a cat thief, that sounds like a trickery.
And if they could do that, then it follows that the demigod who inherited their divinity must be capable of the same. I'll see you at Memorial Palace at Action Hour tomorrow.
Yes, we're going to meet Cypher.
Guide to finding that ancient city.
Also, for Joe's just joining in, when they talk about, like, Action Hour or the Waking Hour, Amphoreus doesn't have a sunset. It's always daytime. So they refer to hours as, like, verbal words, so it's easier for people to keep track of what hour of the day it is. So they have Waking Hour, they have Resting Hour, they have Action Hour, and like you can see in the subtitle above Action Hour, it says noon, so you have a vague idea of what they're referring to. The tumultuous day finally comes to an end. Everyone disperses, each lost in their own thoughts. The servant tells the mystery within the myths. A scholar seeks to answer a forbidden puzzle. The truths learnt during your travels. Head to the book to write them down. Oh, Dun Hun isn't back yet, huh? Alright, time to do some reading. Learn more about... Oh, Azel's eyelashes are fluttering. That looks like someone lost in thought. Sadly, no ending again. I see, but I actually really enjoy stories like this. Just think about it. Those perfect endings we all love, aren't they always the ones where the story keeps going? Where everyone's still living? The ending yet to come? I guess. Alright, I imagine it's going to be Anaxa and maybe Castorice. Oh, no, and... Who is that in the middle? I can't really tell. Oh, Hyacine. Okay. No, we'll do Mr. Controversy. We'll do Anaxa first. Mr. Contradiction, even. Discard not the broken. This is the tale buried in history. One day, a student elated in victory dashed around the grove's territory.
I saw the spell the professor carved on his body.
The youth with white hair was beside himself in joy.
It must be a power most secret. A means for one man to stand against 1,000.
That spell was rare indeed, for it was a secret way to overturn a cart of hay. The scholar was still a mortal body, as yet to snatch life from death, or to reforge a new flesh through a god's remedy. Various minute tricks and parody, he studied them all, crafting schemes oh so busy. For everyone knows he wishes not to use the divine power that is his, refusing rightful custody. And in that unwitnessed moment of his death, final tragedy, he still held the hay cart spell steady, standing alone, facing the evil enemy. Now that craft is regarded as a magnificent study, not because of what it was, but because of its purpose, known to everyone. In fact, he once crafted miracles, forging silent servants using soil as vehicle. Though no sentience, they do their job without obstacles, rivaling Titan King in spectacle. I would like to remind the audience that I am dyslexic. However, one day he suddenly changed his tune.
Creation is the Titan's work, and slavery is the Titan's manacle. When imitating divine evil, there's no need to invest reason, most pinnacle.
When the servants have all been recycled, he deigns not to explain, fearing the waste his reason or muscle. So he jokingly concludes his questioning with a chuckle.
If it's just for odd jobs, students are a better gamble.
There are so many pages. The way he addresses himself comes from elsewhere, an imitation of a divine machine with some flair. He happily answers 5 questions for those unaware, knowledge seemingly given with stingy care.
For a wise one, 5 answers reveal creation's secrets, the truth hidden and bold. But a fool learns but not, and is left in the cold. Now, inquire.
That is the fact the scholarly's crafty snare. He hides the answers he seeks behind questions posed by those unaware, doling breadcrumbs as bait to lure and compare, whether to inquire may be worthy of his wisdom to share. The scholar never looks at laws or measurements, ignoring the flow and shift of time's passage, and uncomprehending students gossip in eager regiments.
He is panicked by the flow of time, for his work is yet done, yet to implement.
This man is too arrogant, and he intends to desecrate Orynyx's accomplishments.
Why, obviously, to drag out class time is a statement, the student's answer seemed rather adamant. He is panicked by the flow of time, for his work is yet done, yet to implement. The stubborn assistant interjects in a rare display of testament. The man is too arrogant, and he intends to desecrate Orynyx's accomplishments. The passing sage from another school brings admonishment. Outside the courtyard, the gossips flow into the scholar's ear. He silently gives a grade to every question and argument, but none know the true answer, according to his judgment. The demised scholar Anaxagoras. We'll go to Hyacine next. We'll do Castorice. Oh, we've only just... A Hyacinthia? That's her full name? Not just Hyacine? Wow, okay. Healer of Light, Hyacinthia. On the leaves, the rustling wind plays a melody as the girl looks over this courtyard, petite and exhales, gently dispersing the palm-held blessings. The entire yard is lit softly, like a dandelion bathed in sunlight.
Is this courtyard a tad too small?
It's okay, Clementine. As long as it provides warmth plenty.
The girl makes the courtyard tidy, and in the Evernight lands outside the holy city, there is now a light curing souls' maladies. The girl's skills can bring forth miracles, but today she welcomes a patient quite special.
Welcome to the Twilight Courtyard. How can I help you?
The gravely patient shakes their head.
The end times are coming, and we all wander more and more. Oh, you may heal our wounds, but you cannot cure despair.
The girl watches the patient leave, and her heart swells in sorrow.
Clementine, prepare some things of me. I want this place to be brighter tomorrow.
The redhead child takes the girl's hand.
Long time no see, Hyacinth. Are you here in Akama for a visit, or do you need help from us?
The girl recounts her needs.
I want some shining things, even if they're considered junk.
Multicolored paper bags, crystal clear glass, cottons variously dyed, and jingling wind chimes. The girl brings them back to the courtyard and spares no effort to decorate all around. And when some fireflies wander in, the girl is all smiles.
Little ones, thank you for your light.
The patient returns here and opens their eyes wide. Multicolored dreams on the rooftop now reside, and the lawns contain the sweet whispers of sunlight. A soft breeze passes with no hint of cold, only serving to wake the playful chimes and ocarinas of delight.
Wow, there's light everywhere. What a warm place.
The news is soon spread by the grove, and people with empty hearts visit in droves. The girl prepares candies and tea and listens to every visitor's complaints. People say there was once a star called the sun in the sky, but now that star is no longer there. People say that Aquila took away the world's light, but they still left behind a heart bright to illuminate this happy dream in the night. Like the blizzards in the month of mourning doth calamity fall, burying warmth and dawn's calls. Orderless tides swallow up the grove of reason, and that tiny healing haven is also extinguished, broken and barren. When the girl far from home hears of such grave news, the wind brings to her a moment of confusion, but it also evaporates the tears that briefly sparkle into being, and the girl still smiles bright and happy. Soon, the people of Akama see once again the girl collecting more pieces and tokens, wanting to rebuild that pure haven. But she never realized that wherever she stood, she herself was that holy courtyard, that light-filled haven. Yeah, she was the beauty she brought to the world. Little Miss Pink Barbara, I always call her. Last but not least, my deathly beautiful Castorice. Born with an evil curse, her hands dips into lethal cinnabar and white lead to personally decorate the faces of the dead. Her skills are said to bestow beauty on anyone, even transforming their appearance completely. Many skills were born out of her seclusion, but it painted her dwelling in a gloomy vision. Only a select few have set foot in this mansion, and the thief and the weaver were two such lucky persons. The girl converses with all items in the house, with specimens, tea sets, and even pillows in profusion, as if she can hear the responses of these non-living things.
I have always lived in isolation. Out of courtesy, this is how I practice my words and actions.
'Tis hard to believe her explanation. Her face when talking shows such a gentle disposition, that unless she is telling fabrications, she must regard her partners as mere children. People passed these rumours down. Within the area of her encirclement, all things became frozen, escaping time's increments. It is an exaggeration, that is certain. People only found an ancient lion's head in battle's ruined armaments.
Those words are true.
The head itself was nearly dead.
Though they won in fierce battle, the warriors were powerless to turn the tide. It was the embrace where death dwelled that gave early release from their pain.
This is how death escapes time. She keeps every final embrace hidden in her immortal heart. Out of her numerous works, butterflies and flowers often stand out stark. Ignite them, and you can almost hear the markers remark. Even in death's silence, her sound can be heard. It is a gift greatly treasured by the maiden. Few have the honor to be graced with such work. Only one has the heart to burn such a gift, and the reason she gives is rather far-fetched.
I must peer into all fates unknown.
The power of time is boundless, but there is one thing it cannot
Death
conquer.
is abominable in humans' eyes. Apart from my identity, there's nothing about me worthy of praise.
The beloved gold weaver hears this in distress, then tries to teach her the art of weaving in threads. It has been said that the maiden has works that the holy city possesses, but this is the judgment the gold weaver expresses.
Ah, well, none can know all things, nor be skilled in all crafts. Her works are too early for the living to comprehend.
Alright, back to the circle. The Flame Chaser's path has been lit. Yeah, Treeby is still the closest, and I think that's because when she makes it, it will be when all of the triplets die. I don't think any of the triplets are going to survive. We've already lost Trian. I think it's only a matter of time before the others go. Mighty Moss, the fact that he's still got 2 pages, so he's not done. Aglaya, the Weaver of Gold, has still got 2 pages. The fact that it doesn't say Finon for the nameless, well, Finon, it just says the nameless hero, makes me a little concerned, but we'll have to see how that goes. Cynthia. So yeah, we're still missing... Technically, we can maybe count us, because we are now a Chrysos heir. But we're also missing Cypher. But we'll see where the rest of that starts to fill as we go. I had a feeling Mem had something else to say. Everyone's stories are so deep, I can't keep up. Does Azel understand them? What is a god exactly? Omnipotent, omniscient, always peeking at others. Someone like me. Omniscient. Oh, that sounds so sad, doesn't it? That means they could never truly look forward to hearing a story, could they? But still, I don't quite get it. So let me ask in another way. There must be a difference between gods and us, right? Otherwise, why would anyone ever want to become a god? To avoid being controlled. To escape the pain. You've stumped me there. To avoid being controlled. Controlled? Could it be that we're already... Oh, if it's because I was controlled that I met Azel, then I suppose I wouldn't mind being controlled. As I keep asking, I'm only getting more and more confused. Maybe I'll wait until I've grown a little more before discussing these things with Azel. Option 4 than 2. As I keep asking, I only get more and more confused. Maybe I'll wait until I've grown a little more. Oh, yeah. Get an 8th path this update? Yeah, that's going to be Cypher. Obtain the audio record of the lore. Okay. Oh, someone's using my supports. Oh, a friend is using my supports. Base. Enter the private bath chamber and speak with Mem.
Hey, friend. Is the debate finally over? Did you win?
Oh, I completely forgot that Mem's actually speaking English now. Like, that just kind of hit me. I was like, oh yeah, right, I forgot about that. The upper hand is ours, we thrashed them. We tied the Council of Elders. We managed to win ourselves a glorious defeat. We're kind of at a stalemate.
Oh, that means victory is around the corner. Well, moving on. I was hard at work even while you were at the debate. I borrowed a mountain of books from Cass to see if I could find a way to solve your problem. Let's see. I still have only 32 books to go.
Jesus. It's okay, Mem. We found a way.
Oh, that's fantastic news. I knew it. Hard work always pays off. Especially if you're as diligent as Mem.
I mentioned it. I keep on mentioning it, but because the Japanese voice for Mem is the voice of Elysia from Honkai Impact 3rd, I'm pretty confident that this English voice we're hearing is going to be maybe not identical because it's a little creature and it'll be a human, but it'll be the same actress. So we're finally getting our first glimmers of Elysia coming in. And I know I keep on going back to it, but as a Honkai Impact 3rd person, I can't stress enough how big of a deal Elysia is. I always go back to her when I'm talking about it, but she is. Like, of all the characters to pick after bringing back Raiden Mei in the last story, picking fucking Kevin and Elysia was deranged of them. To pick both of them, no less. Mem isn't saying Mem anymore, yeah, right?
I feel like a huge burden has finally been lifted off my shoulders.
Like being a character just says its name, yeah. But I am very curious when we're going to get to that. When we're actually going to get to Elysia and see her do her thing. As if Paimon just said Paimon the whole time. I mean, considering that Paimon makes up 95% of all dialogue in Genshin, it would be insane. I would stop playing Genshin. I think I'd lose my mind with it. As was their custom, Mem, with astonishing dexterity, slipped back into their secret little hideaway. Good night, Mem. Good night, Akuma. It is nighttime right now, right? Later, somewhere in Akuma. There you go, what we got now. My problem with Paimon is not the voice. My problem with Paimon is the fact that she is the 95% of the voice of the game. I get that she is like the vocal piece for us, but I wish they'd let us just talk more instead.
Cass? What a surprise.
Lady Treeby.
Is something troubling you?
I just wanted to speak to Lady Trian for a bit before I set
Oh.
off. No matter how breathtakingly beautiful Styxia once was, the place is now the domain of the departed. There is no telling what we'll encounter there. I don't want to have any regrets.
Is that Nahida's voice? No. And the only reason I know that is because it's Alejandro's partner. Alejandro being the voice of Sino in Genshin, Jing Yuan in this game, and Anton in Zenless. Because I follow Alejandro's, like, streaming account, Sayu. And so he was talking about it. It was like, hey, look, my partner's actually voicing a character in the same game I'm voicing a character for the first time. So it's like, oh, for the first time. So that means, no, not the same voice. Yeah, no. Nahida's not voice... Nahida and Tribi have different voice actors. So like, that's the only reason why I know, is because Alejandro was like, hey, look, for like the first time, we are both voice acting in the same game. And I was like, oh, if it's the first time, then clearly it's not the same voice. Because I thought that as well at first. It's not Nahida, because otherwise he would have mentioned that, like, it was, you know, it wasn't the first time because he was Sino in Genshin.
Has anyone told you that your eyes are sparkling today?
And Alejandro's partner, their name is slipping my mind right now, and I feel really bad about it. But it's just obviously like I don't watch enough to like really pay attention to that. But they actually kind of had quite the heavy workful, because they had to voice each of the triplet while making them sound distinct and different. But also they voiced Trebios, the actual like original lady. Yeah, Cass is not all about Katamari all the time. It's because we're going to the River Styx. she can give Katamari a break for 5 minutes.
In the past, when you did smile once in a while,
we're going to like the land of despair anyway, so like we have to kind of be mentally prepared. Katamari Damacy can wait till later. Did someone say despair? Not now.
Lady Trebi, you know perfectly well that
okay, let me have this.
nothing but a white lie. I hope your toughness is not a mask hiding a lonely heart.
Cass, you hardly ever talked of your past. None of us knows what you
Speaking
went
of despair and Nagito and like all that stuff, Kadeka's new game, the 100-line defense, all the previews for it have been extremely positive, which is nice because like it's the first time that like he's technically been fully independent. He's not publishing for a company, he's publishing for himself, which is a big fucking gamble. But it sounds like it's doing like the previews, like before it's out, people are really happy with it.
We are just happy for you. That the core flame you're meant
I still need to get back to Raincode, but I just burnt out of that game majorly. It's received a patch. So I'm hoping whenever I next play it, it will be better handled. Because I do like Raincode. My problem with Raincode is genuinely just that it's got the same writing insanity as Danganronpa V3. And so I have to kind of adjust myself. I do want to go back to Raincode. The only reason I dropped it for now is that I did then just burn out. The writing is a lot to keep up with. And it's not because it's overly complicated, it's just that it's fucking insane. And it's like, you just so much of it, it's just like, yeah, this is Kodaka writing, alright, but that was the thing I didn't like about V3. Kodaka's writing's always been quirky, but in 1, 2, and I'd even argue Ultra Despair Girls, it was manageable, and like, I enjoyed it, and I thought it was fascinating to see how it expanded out. V3, it kind of like lost the plot a little bit and kind of went really crazy and became more difficult to follow. And Raincode, even though it's not as egregious, it kind of feels the same way for me, where it's like there's just so much going on with its story and narrative. I would say content dense, but it's not that the game's like got so much content, it's that the narrative has so much elements going on all at once that even keeping notes, I'm starting to get a little fucking lost. Because like, we're doing each individual case, and everyone has these individual powers, and characters come and go all the time, but all of them fucking matter to everything, and it's like... And then in between it, one of the most significant characters is just doing everything because he's a colossal fucking perv, and it's like, there's the Kodaka writing I know and love. And it's like, you know what I mean, it just gets much after a while. And I get it, it's a detective mystery solving game, it's supposed to have like a lot of elements to it, but I'm just like, Jesus Christ. When I do get back to Raincode, I am going to say now though, I was going to consider doing the DLC cases after I've done the main game. I think once I'm done the main game, I won't do the DLC cases. Or if I do, I won't do them on stream. Yeah, but think of the first Danganronpa game as like Mercury and the planet, and think of Raincode as like Jupiter or Saturn. Yeah, yeah. But I am interested in 100 Line Defense. It's only coming out on the Switch right now, but considering it's, you know, independent publishing, I guess it makes sense. You're just going to release it where you can afford to, because it does cost money to publish on other consoles. But hopefully it will do well, and he'll publish to other platforms, because that's what happened with Raincode. Raincode was originally only on Switch, and when it sold well, he then used, like, they used the money to then port it to other consoles. And I'll give that a fair go. I'm more hesitant because it's a tactical game. It's a strategy/tactical game where, like, it's top down and you have to plot where your units go and, like, have them act accordingly. And, like, you know, I am not the biggest fan of those games, but I'm curious enough that I will at least give it a go. Even if it's just a one-off stream, if I come away from it, at least I tried it.
Isn't it a little too soon to say that?
But you already know.
But I know, like, the more time goes on, the more it's like, yeah, we're never getting Dangan 4. So if I want to try and keep up with, like, Kodaka's stuff, I need to actually, like, try these other stuff.
There's no need to rely on anyone else. Just
I get the whole point of V3 is that you never wanted to do Danganronpa forever.
We have always believed that your embrace.
But I also adamantly insist that the biggest problem with Danganronpa that made it feel like for Kodaka that it was going on forever is that all three mainline Danganronpa games have the same fucking spine. And I don't mean the whole killing game thing. I mean the fact that in Chapter 1, they have a character get close to you that you feel you can trust that miraculously dies. Chapter 2 is always a overly elaborate scheme that reveals who, like, the actual villain of, like, the story is. Chapter 3 always has 2 people die with 1 culprit. Chapter 4 always has a quote-unquote suicide that doesn't quite work out the way you think. Chapter 5 is always the major plot twist, and Chapter 6 is always fighting Junko. That spine of Danganronpa is the problem of Danganronpa. They need to break away from that so fucking bad. Like, it was fine when Danganronpa 2 did it, because that was part of the point of the story. That Junko was deliberately trying to replicate it. But when it happens again in V3, and it's because Kodaka's trying to make this message that this series is just going to become redundant and keep on happening, it's like, no, you're the one who made it like that. You could have literally just done anything else. Do any other series of chapters and mysteries. Yeah, but he does like it, yeah.
Because we embrace others to comfort them.
But I digress, that is just Danganronpa.
You're the kindest.
The only one that vaguely gets close to breaking away from it is Ultra Despair Girls, but that's because it's an over-the-shoulder third-person shooter. And it only has 5 chapters, because they wasn't really sure how to handle Chapter 6. And the ultimate square-off with the final boss, it's not even a final boss fight for most of it. It's a debate where every now and then it comes up saying, press X to say no. And then you click no, and then the dialogue continues for another 10 minutes, and then it comes up saying, hey, do you want to press yes or no again? You press no again, it carries on. Then after about 40 minutes, the game finally says, okay, fine, we're done with this, go fight the final boss. You're like, yeah, cool, thanks, Danganronpa. Like, I've mentioned before, the big thing with V3, I completely understand Kodaka wanting to tell a story, getting across the point that he doesn't want Danganronpa to go on forever. That he was scared, and, well, in general, just wary, that if he kept on doing Danganronpa forever, it would drain any magic from the series. It would lose any luster. It would just become, like, a concept in of itself that just kind of keeps on going out of necessity. I get it, and wanting to explore that a little bit with V3 rather directly, I get it. It's the execution that I have the problem with, because it feels like they set up bad scenarios solely to try and ham in the point that you don't want Danganronpa to go on forever, when I'd rather them just, you know, written something better than deliberately make something bad. Well, as I say that, I doubt they deliberately wanted it to be outright bad, but make things that are upsetting and deliberately controversial solely to try and get that point across, if that makes sense. The biggest showcase of it being Chapter 6, where they spend the whole of Chapter 6 trying to insist that not only does nothing matter, but nothing ever mattered in the previous games, which I think was very hurtful for for anyone who had an attachment to any character of the previous games. To just tell them to their face, it didn't matter because nothing matters, fuck you. I don't care if that's the big plot twist to try and ham in your theme. That was just really, like, almost toxic and kind of harmful. There's a reason why V3 isn't canon anymore, and I think it's entirely because of that. Like, he was trying to insist that like, Danganronpa as a concept within the world that it's made of his writing doesn't exist. And it's all just actors in a play, because that's the nature of story writing and characters. And it's like, I get it, but at the same time, fuck off. Because I like Gundam Tanaka, and I cared about his story, and I felt something when he, like, took the sacrifice, whilst also insisting he wasn't taking the sacrifice to stop people feeling bad about him. Like, you know, like, it's like,
Thank you.
It's not about a hostage situation. It's about when you're writing something, and you're writing a sequel, you don't then, in your sequel, go back to a previous story within your current story solely to tell your audience this shit doesn't matter and never did. There's a difference. And that's what Kodaka does. He spends the whole of Chapter 6's writing insisting that not only does Danganronpa 3 not exist within the world of Danganronpa's like story universe, but neither did 1 or 2. It's all actors in a play that voluntarily put themselves in those situations to play out a play for your amusement, the audience playing the game. And that's where it's like you went out of your way to harm the narrative of 1 and 2 solely to make your point in 3. Because 1's narrative about surviving the end of the world, one way or another, and overcoming the despair at a world that no longer really exists in its original form, all bullshit now according to them, to V3. They just are actors in a play, and when they left that building it was just a normal world and they went back to their lives because the play was complete. No, now you've just harmed the whole point of Danganronpa 1, because what was the point of it then? But you get my point. But it's like, that's kind of like how like they handled it, and that's why I found it so upsetting and so aggravating. Like, I say review, it was me talking about my journey through it, because, you know, there was live stream recording blocks, so I did it. But my quote-unquote, like, 3 hours of me talking Danganronpa V3 throughout the whole thing, you hear it in my voice, and you can hear it through my script. I got so fucking fed up of V3 by the time I reached the end of it. And this is coming from something, I like V3 as a whole, but it is by far the worst Danganronpa, and it's not even like a competition. And the fact that it's also the longest game in the series, it's like, oh, Jesus Christ.
This feeling...
Like, Danganronpa 1 is a fascinating, interesting, like, isolated experience that, although has problem, has atmosphere in spades, and has a very believable, if a little crazy at times, story. Danganronpa 2, for what it lost in tone, because that game is a lot more silly, it gained everywhere else by having a much better written cast of characters, a, like, much more cohesive story, even if it still has its moments. A genuinely just great soundtrack as well, better mysteries to solve, and cases that go on longer without going on too long. And the ultimate conclusion to the mystery, although insane, makes sense within its own narrative, and so you can follow it along. V3 is just upping the ante, to up the ante, to up the ante, and it's every single fucking chapter. And it just gets to a point where, what do you mean there's a chapter where they all go into an AI world, and they use the boundaries of the map to push someone off to kill someone in reality, but it was actually a trick that then wiped the memory of the killer, and the killer is the only guy who would never kill anyone anywhere because he's a giant teddy bear. But because of this mass setup manipulation, that's your case to solve. You're like, okay, there's my suspension of disbelief and then just thinking I'm insane to make me follow this story along for what's supposed to be a grounded murder mystery. There's like... I fucking hated Case 4. The Case 4 is the only time in a Danganronpa game that Case 3 was not the worst case. It's insane how fucking stupid Case 4 is. Like, it's frustrating because Case 1 is fascinating but has a bullshit plot twist. Case 2 is one of the best cases in the entire franchise because I didn't realize who the killer was until the 11th hour, and no other case in the series did that. Case 3 frustrates the shit out of me because the first half is so well written, and then they just shit all over it in the second half, and you're like, thanks, cool. Case 4 is just batshit insane from start to finish, and I didn't follow any of it, but the main villain, who's an arrogant piece of shit, wins the entire way through and gets exactly what he wants, so it just aggravated the shit out of me. Case 5, is the most Danganronpa ass case, and I mean that as a compliment. Case 5 is great. And then Case 6 just shits over the entire franchise, and it's like, great, I'm so happy I played this game. It's what I mean, like, about Yakuza's sincerity, yeah. Like, meta commentary and irony and talking about it has a place in narrative. The problem is that too many stop talking about it after they introduce it. And that's not a dig. Like, I've mentioned before, I genuinely really loved the Deadpool films. I think they're really funny and really well handled. But too many people look at what Deadpool did and just take the face level of, if we do the fourth wall, if we do the meta, it will be good. Not realizing that Deadpool, especially Deadpool and Wolverine, it's not just about that. The meta itself directly ties into the story. They don't just do the fourth wall, wink wink, ha ha. They have it matter in the grander scheme of what's going on. It's a tool of the entire narrative, not a gimmick or a joke. And that's what so many other things just miss or poorly execute. It's not just your character looking at the screen and winking at the audience. It has to still be important to the cycle of it. It still needs to have some relevance to everything, otherwise you're just doing that. And even if you're just doing that, if you only do it once in a blue moon, doesn't bother me in the slightest. Honkai Star Rail does it every now and then, doesn't bother me in the slightest. I find it funny. But when you get, like, to give the easiest, like, punching down example, meta can't be important by design. Well, that is a very unfortunate perspective for you to have, because it's just incorrect. Because, like I said, the literal proof are the Deadpool films. They literally use the meta as a tool to be important to the narrative on a level that makes them being there. If the meta wasn't there in Deadpool, half of the films would lose their narrative influence and would lose their ability to tell their story, because it's a core component of its story and how it decides to handle itself. That is objectively wrong. Like, the meta is a part of the commentary, and meta is a part of the depth of the story, and is a part of the design to make it work. By design, it is objectively wrong. I don't know how else to tell you that. Your complaints and your criticism towards it come from the basis of bad examples of times where they are doing what I was getting at, where they just do meta for the sake of doing the meta, and so it loses its relevance. Every single aspect and every single story that has ever existed and every single concept that has ever existed falls under the exact same category of, if it's done well, it's fun. If it's done poorly, it's shit. Ironic storytelling is still storytelling. Meta commentary is still meta commentary. It's still telling something. It's not something that suddenly is an active force that is invalid in some way. It's not something that doesn't exist in some way or can't in some way affect the story in another means. It's still valid. The problem is, just like with your dislike with action RPGs, you've only got bad examples. You haven't experienced the good ones to realize that no, that is valid and as valid as every other approach. Meta can exist in story. A lot of the best stories have it. The trouble is that you usually don't notice it because it's not maybe as egregious as, say, NEP. The problem with NEP is that it's meta for the sake of meta most of the time. And when it's that's when it loses its impact. Because it's like a plot twist for the sake of a plot twist. It's like just having it there for the sake of it. It's irrelevant. It ends up harming more than it adds. It's why the latter half of the Saw franchise don't work, because it's just a plot twist for the sake of a plot twist. It's the same idea. If you have meta for the sake of it being meta, it loses its value. But if you actually incorporate it into the point of your story, it has value. And not only does it have value, it can be some of the best storytelling you can get out of it. Like, come on. Like, I don't know how else to put it to you like this. It's like... meta for the sake of meta. Yeah, but my point is that you can do, like, the wink at the camera just to be that. But you can also do the wink at the camera to set up expectation, to set up a concept of how you think things will go, to then play up to that or challenge it later in the story. It's what Deadpool 1 thrives off of, is that it uses its meta to set up a whole bunch of expectations in the first half, and then dissects them in the second half in comedic ways. So you get the story by it playing off your expectations, by playing up to its meta. Undertale's another good example of it, but Undertale's like the perfect example of what I mean, in the sense of because it uses the meta as a story device. And even then, Undertale uses the meta as a story device in 2 of its paths, but uses it for the sake of meta in just 1 of them. And which path is widely considered the most frustrating and annoying to go through? Oh right, the genocide path. Which one is just meta for the sake of meta up until the ending? The genocide path. It literally proves every aspect of my point. Undertale is every point of what I mean. But that's still my point. Undertale uses mechanics playing out to the meta, is incorporating the meta into something and not just being there for the sake of it. It being there for the sake of it is like any other story trope in the universe just being there for the sake of it. It won't work if you just use it like that. But if you use it in relevancy to the narrative structure you're building, it can be fantastic. And it's, to be honest, it's weird I'm having this discussion with you because you're also a writer. And so you should know this. Everything, every single trope and every single aspect, if just used for the sake of using it, will seem hollow and pointless. But if used within the intent of your story, can have so much value to it. No trope is just a thing that should inherently not exist, because it has its place and will work and can be used to expand stories and importance of gameplay systems or movie ideas or your favorite books. All of it. It's all important. It's all valid. And I don't know how else to convey that beyond what I've already said now. Meta cannot exist within the story confines because it definitely exists outside of it. Except, yes, it can, and yes, it does all the fucking time when done well. Meta being an observation of an outsider perspective, which is how it works, you're stepping outside the confines of your story to comment on it, can still be an aspect of it. Every single story that involves a god overseeing the world is technically by definition meta, because they are outside the bubble of their own of the fucking story of humanity. How else do I get this through? You're saying kayfabe, or kayfabe, or however you put it, but you're missing my point. Like, my point is that meta is an aspect of the story. Regardless of how it's presented, it is still an aspect, and it is still valid because of it. Meta can and does exist within stories, because that's part of the point. And when it's written wisely, half the time you won't even realize it's there.
Trian was actually working on a surprise gift for you. It's a pity she didn't.
It's not per definition. Yeah, but okay.
Now Trinan and I are working on it, and we'll make sure.
Before I get frustrated, I will just say this: trying to use one specific textbook definition to decide that one entire concept of a story is invalid is objectively wrong, and is to be viciously blunt with you, a failure on your part of understanding. You should be able to, especially as a writer, be able to extrapolate the components that makes a thing, whether it's meta, whether it's any other story trope that's ever existed, and interweave what you want to use of it into your story without it becoming a separate entity that is irrelevant to anything just because you decide it is. Which is why meta will always be relevant and will always be something that can be within the story and is not pulling away from it. And I'm sorry if that's very, like, vicious and cruel for me to say, but I don't know how else to tell you this anymore, because all I'm getting in response is, yeah, but... Like,
So, let's meet back.
It's not Strawman, but I don't know what else to tell you, dude. I really don't. I've given you everything. I don't know what else to tell you. You literally... Okay, look, I was being facetious a little bit, but you're saying, oh, literally it's not per definition. Yeah, but everything per definition is also something you as a writer shouldn't take at face value, because you're a writer. If you took everything at face value, nothing you write would be interesting. Unless you're writing kids' stories. The whole point of these tropes and these genres and these styles and these ways of, like, approaching things is to be able to extrapolate and take the pieces of these definitions to mold them into your story the way you want them to be. Meta is just one of a cacophony of different story tropes. It's not some exception from the rule, it's a part of the rule set. And it always has been. The reason why, at least to me, and forgive me if I'm wrong on this, that you're so against it is ultimately just down to the fact you don't like it. And that's okay. But it doesn't mean it's invalid. Of course there are other tools. There's a million other tools. But you can still use those tools that you choose to, and it is still valid regardless of what tools you do, including meta. How is it reductive to say use what you want to use to build the stories you want and don't just obey things as you're told to you because you will just make uninteresting stories? Meta is a tool of tropes. It is a story trope. It is a way of approaching a way of storytelling like any other. It has its bells and whistles. It has its problems and criticisms. But it doesn't mean it is magically completely invalid from storytelling. It is worthwhile. There is nothing in this universe that could suddenly be like, oh, this is invalid, period. That's not how that works, and it's not how it will ever work. I don't know how else to put this across to you. I don't know how else to tell you this. And it may seem like I'm being reductive or because of this, but that's because that's the only way you ever seem to put it across. You come across with this as you don't like meta, so you're going to do everything in your power to pretend it doesn't exist so you don't have to acknowledge it. That's how it comes across in the conversation, and that's what it feels like I'm trying to, like, discuss with you. And it's why it's driving me up the wall. Because, come on. You know, you know it's reductive because you don't have any key story elements in context? What, and suddenly the meta can't be a part of that? I'm done. I can't do this argument anymore. I don't know how else to tell you. Like, it's not even a case of, like, difference of opinion. It's, like, you are just not correct on this matter. I don't know how else to tell you. I really don't. I'm so sorry. I've tried everything, and all I'm getting in return is yeah, buts. And it's like trying to argue with a Trump supporter. It's like, it doesn't matter how much I put in front of you. All I'm getting is yeah, but. And it's like, oh, fucking kill me. I didn't mean... It wasn't I meant to have a shot at you like that. My point was... Look, I'm sorry. I'm going to drop it. I'm sorry. My point is that I wish you could be more accepting towards things because they are a part of the system. And if you don't like it, that is okay, and I wouldn't take that from you. But to say that it is completely invalid is just ludicrous, and it pisses me off personally, and for that I am sorry. I think to wrap this up in a nicer way, I feel every single approach of storytelling is valid in its own ways. They are not without criticisms, of course, but it doesn't take away their validity. That will be my conclusive discussion, because I want to go meet Cypher in this game today, and I want to get the story of this done at some point this week.
I didn't wake you. Huh? No.
Yeah, in weird ways, but it's all good. Like.
I'm here because of private matters, actually. If it isn't too much.
It's alright, we're just two autistic men fighting over something that, to be honest, probably doesn't matter.
To retrieve something.
Sure, let's go.
Aren't you going to ask me what it is?
Castorice, I trust you wholeheartedly. Let's go.
It isn't a long way from here. Shall we?
So quick. Yeah.
I'd love to go in and take a look.
Hey, Castorice, look, I'm your sister. Hey, Castorice, look. Okay, no, I'll stop mocking. Her sister's dead, so that's probably kind of insensitive now I think about it. Also, real talk, changing the subject back to this game, if I was Cass, and everything I touch dies, and there was one something human that, because they're already technically dead, I could make physical contact with, and I've got 1,000 years without being able to make physical contact with anyone, I'd be like, hey, you wanna, hold hands everywhere? I would, unless, you're just super, okay, not craving touch, but I know that's bullshit in Castorice's point of view, because she literally cried when she got to hug someone.
I want to vote. Tell me how I can vote.
Perception, so got my bias as a result. Nah, I get it.
Take your ceramic shard engraved with the Kefali rune. Select the Council of Elders in your heart, and pray silently until the shard registers your choice. Then toss it into the Dolium.
The Council of Elders? More like the Council of Buffoons?
Oh, fuck, get him.
Black Tide took my hometown long ago! Who are they kidding with bringing back Erechrysia? It's all a sham to create their own Erechrysia in Akama!
The Titans are just. So long as we do not overstep our bounds again, we will not incur divine wrath.
Oh, please. The time when these deranged Titans should have vacated their spot to the demigods is long
okay,
overdue.
oh, I need to remember what the book's called.
Enough, you old fogey.
There was a book I read years ago. It was written by Jeremy Dooley. It was like it was these superhero books that he wrote. Well, I say that, but it's his own spin on it, and he has his own heroes and setups and things like that. But he also 110% grew up on wrestling, and it's present and prevalent in his work. Both of his books. I don't think his third one ever has come out yet. I know he was working on it, but I don't know if that's finished or anywhere near finished. And they were fun reads. They're not the best reads ever, but they were fun reads because they had a serious tone to them and actual stakes and consequences and all this stuff. But you could see the wrestling influence where it wasn't straight up meta, or I forget the word that you used. The Kafabe key fable. I'm just gonna start calling it now. But there's elements of them within the work, but it doesn't detract from anything within it. If anything, it adds to it because it almost allows the audience to peek behind the curtain, while at the same time not spoiling them of anything, to make you feel like you're more involved by knowing more. So then when the punches come, but then they get to play with that expectation, it gets to catch you a little bit, if that makes sense. Because they can be like, oh, so you think this is something that could lead to this? Because we've alluded to it by using meta as a tool to make you think that. And then you get to the punchlines, and it's not that. Measuring over nothing to be age here.
And I pray that Talanton smacks some sense into you with their scales. We shall see how this turns out.
That was quite a spectacle.
Paper. Oh, I'm going to keep on saying key fable because I think that's more funny. But yeah, I hear you. There's another peaceful day in Arkama.
I suppose peaceful is technically correct if
no, you're good.
Actual violence happened.
It was more me because I was getting frustrated, but
to this day,
it is what it is.
I still find it almost unreal that Akama is the only place illuminated by light amidst the crumbling ruins of Amphoreus. And its people are even holding votes to reconcile differing opinions. This peaceful sight is making me forget that this is the end times.
But I think it's a growth for me, because I'm going to be blunt with you, dude. If we'd had that exact same argument, 2 years ago, I would have muted you in chat eventually, because I would have just got fed up. So I think it's a good sign of growth on my part that I didn't. That I would have just got fed up with the conversation and gone no, you're going in timeout. No. I usually only end up having to ban bots. There's only been a couple instances where I've banned someone. There was one person that kept on spamming, and I timed them out, and then when they came back, they started spamming again, so I just blocked them. And then there was one person who came into chat, and immediately tried to spoil Danganronpa 2 on my blind playthrough of it, and they were gone. I was like, no, fuck yourself, go. I had no hesitation. You look very confused.
Before coming here, I had lived for many years in Idonia, a city of rime and frost. The people there were devotees of Thanatos, and were well.
But it worked out because my mod at the time muted them, and then just went, yeah, no, they were spoiling shit. So I went, alright, no, don't mute them, just fucking ban them. I don't give a shit.
Traditions that I played a major role in.
Because of the curse on you?
Yes. You now know me as the Mortician of Akama. But back in those days, I was Idonia's Maiden of War. I was trudging across the frosty plains on my own when the...
Oh, my headset's still being staticky. Sorry, 1 second.
As a blessing from Thanatos, and believed that my hands could correct the Eracrisia's mistake and lead them to meet the great god of death.
Oh, right, there we go. Okay, maybe better now. Sorry, I know I keep interrupting you there, Cass, but I was trying to sort it.
But in return...
Okay.
I was expected to grant merciful deaths to war captives, prisoners bound for execution, and heroes alike.
Is that some sort of end of... Oh, wow. It's giving me an optimistic or pessimistic opinion to it. Is that end of life care, or isn't that just an executioner?
Yes. No matter how kind or cruel the means, nothing can change the essence of death. Taking away someone's life is never worthy of religious worship. I can't do it. Their voices, they pierce my ears. The pleading.
It's supposed to be like Castorice of the past, hence why her voice is a little higher, but it's the same fucking model.
I know that feeling, child. I was once as lost as you are now. But you must respect those walking towards death. Just like how you should respect yourself as the Holy Maiden granting humans glory and liberation.
What you're asking me to do is no better than the task of an executioner. And yet you want me to respect myself. No matter the titles, I am still taking away human lives.
Oh yeah, hence Cass's point. It's like, I don't care. Like, yeah, she doesn't care what religious ties or religious beliefs people have. If it has to result in someone dying, she doesn't like it. She doesn't feel like it's right. But because she's the one that has to be the giver of death, she doesn't get much choice in the matter.
This won't be the first time that Idonia's fanatical nether warriors have faced death. On the contrary, recruits new to the battlefield often run away from their first fight. Death is the mightiest and gravest power in this world. The fact that you can wield it means you are deserving of respect.
That's such a twisted reason.
Well, yeah. There's a balancing act between text and subtext, because you need to give players enough to go on, or viewers, depending on what media it is, something to go on. But equally, if there's absolutely zero subtext, it kind of hinders the discussion after the end of the story. Because other than just saying, oh, do you remember this bit? Wasn't it so cool? Oh, I love this part of it. Oh, I didn't really like this bit. But if there's subtext, there's like, well, maybe this meant this. And you go, oh, well, I think it might mean this. And it encourages discussion, which is what they always want. It's never an intended tool for deception or anything like that. They want to encourage discussion. Or in some instances, Chinese-made games, it's because they straight up are not allowed to overtly say something, and so do everything in their power to give the audience the information without directly saying it and putting themselves in trouble. Sometimes they get a little like blunt with it. Case in point, Robin having the lesbian flag colors under her eye, but you get my point. It becomes necessary in of itself sometimes in this situation.
Then let me tell you a story.
Concepts rather than subject. Yeah, but having a discussion of a concept. I'm trying to think how to put this. Of like having a concept of a thing and what it could entail beyond that. That's still technically a layer of subtext because it's a discussion of something in its core way and what it could go beyond what the story itself tells you. Anything that encourages you to talk about something beyond what's actually on the words on the script is technically subtext. Technically. I know I'm being like very fucking like with the rules here, but you get my point. When people just make shit out of nothing, that's when it's like, that's not subtext, that's just theorizing. That's just game theory. But, being able to have discussions about parts of what's told you to try and fill in the blanks yourself, or try and figure out where things could go from here for yourself, that's just the essence of what subtext is doing. If there's something for you to hold on to talk about that could go further beyond what's on the actual words on the paper, that's technically subtext, because it's not text directly.
In Idonia, the great swords commonly used by executioners are called Draconian, in memory of Dracon, an elderly executioner.
So if you wrote a story that had absolutely no subtext in it whatsoever, the story would just be literally, there is nothing beyond the words that can be talked about. That's the easiest way to put it. There is absolutely nothing beyond the script or beyond what you see or what you do that means anything. It's just a hollow void outside of what we're telling you. And like, it can sometimes be as simple as like, say, let's use it like a fantasy novel, for example. They go to a new like town and like they help out the local blacksmith, and like as they're going, they see like a couple customers that weren't there before going to the blacksmiths. Even though they don't say anything, you can extrapolate from the subtext that their business is improving because of what the heroes did. The heroes aren't at the center of the world is continuing without them, but now you can be like, oh, but maybe the blacksmith will become, it will be able to expand his shop, because maybe he's in like some dark corner alley established in the text, and be able to expand his business into something bigger later on. Maybe there's like another rival business that's like been dominating, but now they're getting customers, even though it's not brought up. You may be like, oh, maybe that blacksmith will actually like become a part of the system and maybe even rival the dominating other thing. That's all technically subtext because it's not established. We're not telling you, the reader, that that's exactly what happened. And you can fill in the blank and have text come into the end of it again if you wanted to. If, say, later in the story they revisit it and the blacksmith's now got like a major business empire. The subtext is everything in between it. But you now know the beginning and end, so you can theorize how it got to that point in between if you wanted to. I know that's like a really fucking basic example, but you get my point. But if there's anything whatsoever that ends up encouraging a discussion or thought beyond the literal words on the page, you have found subtext. Yeah.
The sword has
I mean, I would encourage you to try and be a bit more aware of it, because if you're aware of it, you can use it to advantage. Because you can use it to not like manipulate, I don't mean it like in a negative way, but influence what you want your readers to kind of think about. Like what things are answered on the papers that you don't want to necessarily say, do you want them to maybe just spare a thought towards? And it can be like something as simple as, like I said, the blacksmith example of like their business booming off screen, so to speak.
But should the executioner have any...
Because if you truly had no subtext, then there'd be nothing to discuss. And that's what I mean, like, it would just be like, oh, yay, that was good. And that's the end of the discussion, because you can't really say anything else. You know, like, it ends up narrowing things down too much.
Every executioner after Dracon is to hone their sword skills every day in preparation of future executions. Every swing of their blade.
The only thing you need to be careful with subtext is jumping the shark. Is by going to something that's so like out of the ordinary of what the audience was thinking that it breaks any logic of what conclusions they could have made through what they got beforehand. And unless you're doing that deliberately because you want to confuse them, that's usually not the wisest. Like, to give a recent example, because I was watching Ray go through Evil Within 1. Evil Within is a survival horror game, but the last chapter is you're on a flying truck with a Gatling gun shooting at a skyscraper-sized monster. That game jumps the shark in the final chapter, because it's like it's a survival horror. You're sneaking around avoiding zombies with like a rusty magnum for most of the game. Why are you suddenly now doing this in the last chapter because the game says so? The game jumped the shark because there was nothing that alluded to that was going to be a thing you could do, or nothing that your brain would extrapolate that would go to it. Now, to just insist on troll logic. Yes, if you're doing it deliberately, it's troll logic. If you're doing it undeliberately, it's jumping the shark. Because it's doing something that's so extreme that your brain goes, what the fuck? Yeah, I want to cover Evil Within 1 at some point. The only reason why I haven't yet is because Evil Within 1 never got any kind of next-gen upgrade. It's locked at 30 frames per second. It has abysmal load screens, so it would take a while. And that game is like the epitome of like a 6 out of 10 video game. Like, Evil Within 2, I love to death. I think Evil Within 2 is fantastic, and they learned so much from 1. But 1 is a mess. And it's a good mess, I enjoy it, but it is a fucking mess. There are some chapters in that game that I never wanted to see in any piece of media ever again after I was done.
Pain for the dying, as well as pain for themselves.
Like, the entire last act of the game turns into like a bunch of action set pieces in the story of you like riding the back of a bus whilst like a giant spider monster chases you, and then like your like trusty companion Joseph gets murdered by your other trusty companion because surprise plot twist. And then Joseph is implied to be alive anyway, even though he got point blank executed, but they just never touch that story arc again. You're like, what the fuck is going on here? Silent Hill doesn't use zombies. Well, the original 4 games don't use zombies. The creatures you fight are always mental creations of someone's trauma. They might be zombie-like in the sense they might like stroll around like mindlessly or like just kind of exist in the world, but they're never actually zombies. Like in Silent Hill 1, it's all reflections of I forget the nurse's name, her trauma, because where she was experimented on by like this devil cult. And so all the creatures are either reflective of the devil cult or reflective of her being in a hospital when it happened. So you see nurse-esque things, like there's like baby monsters, because, you know, she had to like deliver a baby at least at some point in her life. There's like patients that look like they're bedridden that are trying to like barely function as an existence. Then in Silent Hill 2, it's 3 different traumas combining. So you have ones that mock the gluttony. There's some that are based on the SA trauma that one of the characters went through, and then the marital trauma that James went through. Spec Ops: The Line. Spec Ops: The Line is a great narrative piece of horror, and just in general a very fascinating piece of like narrative in general. It's one of those games that I wish got remastered or re-released, but I think there's a bunch of licensing bullshit that would stop that ever happening, unfortunately.
No. I can never get used to this.
You misunderstand, child.
Because I feel like Spec Ops: The Line was one of those things that would just never get to see the light of day again. It's just stuck on the PS3 and 360 for the rest of eternity. And I think a lot of people grew to appreciate it way after its thing. Well, not a remake, even just a remaster, just a port but with cleaner graphics. Or just like, or even without the remaster, literally just a port. Just make it available on modern platforms one way or another.
I'm asking you to consider this.
But I know it didn't sell well at launch. and only got like its following way afterwards when the few people that did play it actually realized what was going on and started talking about it. Because it came out during a time where shooters, first or third, were so drowning in the market, they were literally everywhere. You couldn't escape them. Everything was fucking Call of Duty or Battlefield wannabes.
Go, walk with the dead, and love them as you love life. Then you'll no longer hear those noises.
See, that's the YouTubers here. Yeah, the right people discovered it and started talking about it.
Please, don't kill me.
Oh, death row prisoner? Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, God. Oh, no, don't make me pick this man's life. You're a death row prisoner, dude. Why are you on death row? I need context.
No!
You gently touch the prisoner's forehead with your fingers. His face is pale, his eyes flicker with fear, and his body trembles uncontrollably. Is it because of fear, anger, and hatred, or is just so-called merciful touch of death simply a lie? The dark purple mottles spreads like petals across the death row inmate's face. They seem to be submerged by spring water, flooding his body. His trembling ceases, and his cries that once begged for mercy slowly turn into a sigh-like whimper as he murmurs to himself. Quickly, everything falls into a dead silence, turning into pitch-black dew that scatters with the wind. You hear your own heartbeat drown out the sound of heavy breathing.
May you gain some insights through his sacrifice.
So this is one of the things where I kind of wish Honkai Star Rail had a higher age rating. Not because I, needed to see the blood and gore and things like that, but because I think it would have been interesting to actually show on screen how the effect kills people, how her touch kills people, instead of just telling us. Because once again, this game has I don't know what it is in the US, but it's a 12+ in the UK, which is like teen plus, but it's not mature. Whilst Zenless is a 16+, which is like just bordering on mature in the US. Should would have been nice, yeah. Which is why Zenless, even though Zenless doesn't go that egregious, Zenless can get away with more. It's a T. It's also why it's not E+, because characters do swear occasionally in this game, just nowhere near as egregiously. At least I don't think it would be E+, if I've got it right on what I think E+ is, because E is like E for everyone, isn't it? It usually refers to 14+. I think our 12+ is what you guys would call teen. Give or take. Because keep in mind, in the UK, the PEGI system is 3+, 7+, 12+, 16+, 18+, and then we stop there because we don't do adult-rated games. 18+ is like your Grand Theft Autos. E+ is like 10+. Oh, okay, so that would be the 7+s for us. We used to also use I'm talking back when I was a little kid. We'd occasionally use film rating board systems. So every occasion you'd get the U for Universal, or the PG for parent guided, the film rating board system. But I haven't seen that in a game in eons since I was a little kid.
Is this all?
No. Come with me. This is just the beginning of your life as the
you just had to kill someone begging for his life. It's always that. As in, the U for Universal in film just means anyone can watch it. Doesn't matter where you are, or young or old. It is not the same as E for everyone, because E for everyone is usually centered around kids, whilst Universal is that it's more for a family watch, but it's nothing that will be too much for any kid. That's probably the best way to put it. Rated G in America. I have no idea, but I'm going to assume so.
You executioner!
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, this is when she's in death mode. I say death mode. This is what things always look. This is how things look to the people that are likely to be victims of her ability. Also, am I using my cast or am I using story cast? Oh, I'm using my cast. They just shuffled her to the front of my party, huh?
Holy maiden,
Execute the courageous warrior?
Grant her glorious death.
You fucking bestow with honor. Like.
Thank you.
PG 13 and R.
Do it then, executioner.
You heard him.
There's an enemy here. Can I like detour and just deal with them? Imposed with punishment. Sadistic murderer.
I curse you to live in eternal pain.
Execute the ill herder.
Please.
End her pain and suffering. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
You know what to do.
Can this elder, like, fuck off whispering in my ear? An Imperial's metrics even for movie ratings. Fair. Murderer, monster, yeah. Antagonist for fuck's sake. Yeah. I love the effect as she walks. I wish you could have it permanently with Cass, but no.
Come. Fulfill your duty.
What are you trying to do with me?
Oh, is she next?
Aged. The time has come for me to heed the summons of Thanatos.
Yeah, I think that whole thing was supposed to be an implication of like all the years and decades passing that Castorice had to be a tool for this church to enact execution. Such a pause in her statement here.
The final resting place of every Idonian.
You're not that old yet. You still have many.
And even then, after all the trauma, Castorice doesn't want to kill her either.
No. I'm already dead. For I have come to fear my declining health and impending death. Ah, Castorice. Will you give me one last chance?
10 seconds to start the same part of the statement off to come here.
And prove that I am no coward.
I can't take this anymore.
Child, it was I who brought you here from the frosty plains and set your farcical fate in motion.
Yeah, there was an animation that dropped that showed that Castorice has been having to do this since she was literally a child. Like, since she was literally like 6 years old, she has been doing this.
Of executing others.
And if that sounds extremely fucked up, then yeah, it is. You know, you understand what Castorice had to go through. And she's been alive for about 1,000 years now, because they've mentioned before that she's lasted a millennia.
I've always known that you have doubts and even anger about my faith. And about me.
I never had a choice.
Indeed. We essentially abducted you.
Oh, at least you admit it.
Yet you can end
My conscience.
any
Well, I mean,
sinful life.
I think it would get to you eventually. I think everyone, no matter what walk in their life there is, unless you're
Shouldn't it be easy?
genuinely that dead on a personal level to the life around you. So you'd be doing it absent-mindedly then. But I think everyone, to some extent, you might be able to like justify it in your head the first few times, but I think it would start to weigh on you after a while. Even if you were like really like iron-spirited about it, I think.
I'll never do that. It doesn't matter how lightly the Idonians take death, or how readily they accept it. I simply can't do it.
I knew I was right about you.
What do you mean?
I've taught you and cared for you as my own daughter all this time because of this blessing.
Curse? It says in the subtitle. Even the subtitle's like, it ain't a blessing, come on.
I know no one else in the world would understand the weight of life and death more than you do. In the eyes of an Idonian, death is the end of all life. A destination we will all eventually reach. Humans should not resist it, but learn how to face it. You can only live your life to the fullest after understanding this principle. And when you do, even if you eventually leave Idonia's protection, even if you must carry the curse forever, you can live with your head held high, like everyone else.
No! How can I?
Come now. It's time. I've already.
I mean, by technicality, it's kind of a blessing. Because she was literally blessed by death to be able to do it. But in reality, no, it would always feel like a curse. Because you can't touch or make physical contact with anything or they die. In the animated short, there's even a point where she puts on like really thick farmer's glove and touches a flower to see if it will work, and the flower wilts immediately, telling her that she can't escape it.
Show me that you are a fitting holy maiden. Or at least that you possess the resolve to become one. Come now. It's time. I've already taught you all that I know. Show me that you are a fitting holy maiden. Or at least that you possess the resolve to become one.
Too slow. I only wish that death may protect us.
Okay, that was cool. Yeah. The transition to the fight being the dragon.
This was the last time I followed her command. I gently touched the elderly woman before me. The executioner, who had seen too much death, died the same way as everyone else.
Oh, so she did eventually put down that the elder to put down Armanet
in her eyes, and a barely perceptible tremor in her fingertips. Elder Armanet, the person who tried to teach me about death, ultimately vanished like dew in the morning mist. She spent her life embodying the beliefs of the Idonians, and when death finally came, she embraced it exactly as their doctrine had taught. I have nothing but respect for her. I erected a cenotaph in her honor in the marshes outside Idonia's city walls with the others I had laid to rest. Then, I set out once more in search of Thanatos. It was a long, long journey. I heard so many discussions about death along the way. Life finds meaning in death. The world improves because there is an end. It seems the most terrible darkness in this world. Everyone talks about its heavy weight. Some resist it, some worship it, and some even revere it. How did a disappeared titan become the deepest fear of humankind? And why do they haunt my dreams? I continued my travels to seek an answer. Initially, I was running away. Then, I started searching for it. And now, at the end, I just want to know if my touch, if my embrace, can do more than taking things away. Can I make anything? Can I leave anything behind?
I don't want to die. Please, I'm fucking useless. Let me go. I don't want to die.
Oh, is this literally the animated short that was released the other day? Oh, fuck. Hey, that anime I was talking about. Hey, enjoy. Straight up anime cutscenes in
I hate these icy hands.
HSR now.
Get it over with. End its suffering. The Reaper has blessed your hands. Only you can grant them peace.
Yeah, like, come on, this is pure evil. I can't believe this is making me tear up again. When I first watched this anime, I was in tears. Oh, this is what I mean. She wears the thick gloves. But it's still not enough.
Embrace death. Walk alongside it.
And at the end of it all the ones that forced her to do these things as a child all pass on.
You, Castorice. All of them have gone, heeding death.
And that friend, that lone friend she made as a child, is now an old lady.
To their domain. I must go.
don't fear it. Just, I have some regrets. Watching people leave this world again and again, it must be lonely for you. You must want to desperately embrace them before they go.
I can't. These hands, they're too cold.
But Big Sister Castorice, your hands are so warm. Just like anyone else's. So go on. Don't hold back.
Give me a warm hug.
Can hands like these really be warm?
And here comes the answer to her question.
On the day that Orynyx's trial ended, you must have had many questions.
If you're wondering what that deer at the end means, it's implying reincarnation, because the animation started with her putting down a very old deer. And after she asks if there's more to her hands than what it is, than what she is, then the young deer walks in. Yeah. I'm glad that they included that. There's a few animated shorts that have been on like the official YouTube channel that after watching them I've really wished made it into the game, because more people need to get them. The dance between Acheron and Black Swan, considering that's literally the origin of how Black Swan and Acheron even know of each other, I'm amazed that's not in the game. I feel like that should have been. But also, the story of the 13 swords, that absolutely should be in the game. And not in a trailer. I know, like, the story isn't relevant to the main plot yet, which is probably why it hasn't been mentioned yet, but I feel like that should be in here somewhere. So I'm glad that that animated short, Castorice's childhood and background and her journey, is in the game. Oh, so I'm choking up. When I first watched it, I want to keep my... Because of UK time... These, like, the new stuff, like, for, like, all of Hoyoverse's channels, drops at, like, 4 AM. So I was asleep when the animated short dropped. I woke up that morning, saw there was a new thing. I was like, oh, sure, I'll watch it, like, in bed, like, half with it. I was sobbing. I was like, I just opened my eyes. What the fuck? So even knowing it was coming, it still hurt. Her seeing her only friend grow old and then die in her arms.
I felt just as confused. Why, as someone from beyond the sky, were you so cruelly dragged into Amphoreus?
But hey, also, can you tell that they really want you to care about Castorice? That she gets the animated short, that she has a special intro when you first sign into the game after this patch, that there's a whole event built around her. like, that she's involved in everything, that there's 23 roles in it for you by signing in this patch. Like, they really want you to care about Castorice and have her with you moving forward.
I wished I could take action, but no matter how hard I try, I cannot simply interact with the living as ordinary people do, even when we brushed against each other unintentionally in the grove. And it was obvious that nothing had happened, when an almost unattainable hope finally welled up in my heart. When I thought that perhaps my touch would no longer bring sorrow.
Yeah, the only reason why our touch didn't kill me is because we are technically dead. Our soul is separated from our body.
Fate declared to me, it wasn't that the curse of death had finally been lifted, but that your soul no longer belonged to this world. And there was nothing left for my hands to take. Nothing. And did I really think this time would be any different? It's not that I don't understand this reality, just that I'm unwilling to accept it. Having walked such a long road, I am still unable to find the answer to life and death. I am resigned to eternal despair. Anything I wish to hold on to, death will inevitably wrest from my grasp. From that moment on, I lacked the courage to confirm it again. Until Ornyx laid bare the cruel truth before us. But now, perhaps I might have one last chance.
Oh, to try and make things better?
Long ago, Trinan read a prophecy to me. At the end of the Sea of Flowers, the souls of the living shall warm thy fingertips, and after an embrace, there shall be eternal separation. I found no surprise in it, for her words sounded not like a foretelling, but a perfect reflection of my past. Embraces in this world are born of reunions. Yet, my touch speaks only of farewells. In that moment, I had no doubt that this destiny would weave itself through the entirety of my life. And yet, things have taken a turn for the better. Now that I can finally have an audience with Thanatos, perhaps I can rewrite the meaning of that fated prophecy. I have no reason not to give it my all, for your sake, and for my own.
Thank you for telling me your thoughts.
With that, I won't have any regrets.
Castorice talks to you about the gifts she gave to the other Crisis heirs, and before you know it, she arrives at your gift.
Let's put that aside for the moment. We've arrived. I want to retrieve a small gift I specially prepared for you. I made it myself, like the trinket
Aww.
I gave Lady Trianne. I want to leave something for everyone, if possible. The journey to seek an audience with the Death Titan cannot be an easy one. I want to make full use of every moment I have before we depart, so that I don't have any regrets.
Is it a brooch with my face on it? That sounds kind of ominous.
No, it isn't.
I made her laugh.
Oh, no,
That's
I see it.
that's a plus.
Look, it's right there. Huh?
Oh, has it been stolen?
Where did it go? What's going on?
Did you get into some trouble with some phantom thieves?
I am not some corrupt grown-up.
Wow! Okay, I was joking. No, corrupt grown-up? Yeah, okay, I see you, Persona 5 reference. Fucking come on.
What's this?
Oh, now we're meeting Cypher. That was like, I can't be the only one, right? I know Phantom Thieves weren't invented by Persona 5, but me going, was you robbed by a Phantom Thief? And her going, I'm not a corrupted, like, grown-up? That's a come on.
The coin of Zagreus. and a slave.
At least one of the writers is a fan of Persona. I fucking see you.
So it's her.
A kitty thief?
No doubt about it. This is her favorite symbol. It's a Lady Cypher, the demigod of Zagreus whom Lady Aglaia had spoken of. She's a master thief who's left legendary tales all over Amphoreus.
1 second, chat. Oh. Right, it's getting staticky again. I said Cypher. I love Cypher's design. I have seen Cypher, but she is gorgeous.
Herself in such a crass manner.
Yeah, she's like the chosen one of trickery. Yeah, she's gonna pull tricks.
The slate says, and look for Lady Cypher.
Dear Princess Homebody, walking through the busy garden, I discovered the remarkable gifts crafted by Princess Homebody. They are truly splendid, and I'm most impressed. I am also taken with your charming presents prepared for the fellow Christus heirs. In your right parlour, I observed the beautiful felt dolls. The beige and lavender, strips tapestry, the classic Idonian tripod table, and in the left parlour, the jewellery and exquisite art pieces meant for gifts. This time, I've claimed only this modest gift. I fear it would attract tasteless little thieves, so I shall safeguard it for now. Naturally, I've left appropriate payment. A single coin. If the price displeases you, feel free to negotiate its return. Though should that happen, I won't be satisfied with merely 1 coin. Should you wish to find me, visit the Marmoreal Market. There lies a golden short spear I've left. You know what to do, it shall guide you to me, and before you ask, I won't accept any questions. Please forgive this small intrusion and accept my highest regards. P.S. Who displays biological specimens at home? They're quite unsettling. You might want to store them away while entertaining guests. P.P.S. Despite our considerable investment in the Idonian ossuary hanging in your parlour, I regret to inform you it's fake. The original was craftily switched by those cunning scholars by the Grove of Epiphany. The full story can be found in the yet unpublished memoirs of Clefaifa. Sincerely, the Kitty Phantom Thief. You retrieve the gift and teach Kitty Phantom Thief a lesson. To retrieve it, you need to head to the market and find the short spear she left behind.
Look,
Alright.
It's right there.
The Cypher's coin.
There seems to be a new show at the back.
Alright, we have to follow this spear and it will lead us to Cypher, huh?
Huh? This is a trick she left for us.
Clearly, Kitty Phantom Thief wants to play a little game with you. 2 short spears, 1 correct, 1 wrong. The hint. 2 gold short spears. Only the golden short spears engraved with the truth can lead you to the Kitty Phantom Thief. Left spear is engraved with the words, don't be fooled. The right spear is engraved with lies. The right spear is engraved with the words, trust me, grey mystery. Both spears are engraved with the truth. It's the left one.
She's incorrigible. Follow me.
That was one of them's telling the truth, but if the second one's telling the truth, it doesn't make sense, so it has to be the first one.
This is how it should be. We must pursue her.
We'll chase her down. Cypher? Cypher, if the Dromus truly is her, appears to be quite content. Her gaze filled with 3 parts sincerity, 3 parts approval, 3 parts triumph, and 3 parts haha, grey mystery. You've lost it if you take this seriously. Hi, Cypher. She seems to be saying hello. Seeing you treat Dromus with such seriousness, all 12 parts of her complex emotions immediately transformed into one of admiration.
Lady Cypher, please come on out.
You're still careless as ever. Shouldn't you keep such a precious gift near your bosom?
What the fuck? Near your bosom? Cypher?
Since you know it's a gift for someone else, please give it back to me. Stop hiding among the people and letting the wind carry your voice.
Now, since I know it's a gift, that just means I need to...
Cypher's voice is way deeper than I thought it was going to be. I'll be honest. I was thinking like kitty cat thief. I was thinking it'd be like meow meow meow. No. She's like sly, almost like devious.
Name your price. I'll give you however much you want.
Huh?
What's wrong?
Princess Homebody. Why don't you two come over to my place? It'll make a better venue for proper business discussions. You can find where I live through the winds I've sown.
Right. Piece of cake. I can do that even if I can only sense your soul.
Alright, I'll see you there. Oh, by the way, everyone cool with me collecting a deposit before we reach an agreement, right?
Oh, she is like turbo like cat thief. She's only in it for the money. The Dew of Divine Blood in the backpack has been stolen. Where did my Dew of Divine Blood go?
She's incorrigible. Follow me.
How did she like sneak up and steal us doing this? Dear Princess Homebody and Grey Mystery, you probably guessed already I have no intention of showing up at the Pack Beast workshop. This means, of course, I had no returns to return the gift there either. This was just a warm-up for our little game of cat and mouse, but surely you've realised that the kitty phantom thief never cared about stealing a mere trinket, right? No. What I'm really after is your hearts. Just kidding. I have no interest in your hearts. Fucking alright. If Princess Homebody can track my path, then all means try. I'll be waiting at the end, and rest assured we'll meet face to face this time. P.S. Grey Mystery. Where did you get that Dew of Divine Blood? Don't tell me it's a gift from the seamstress. I'll taste it for you. Sincerely, the kitty phantom thief. Now we have another coin. Go to Cypher's secret hideout.
Let's save some time.
Oh, I destroyed a structure as we went. That's what the game's commenting on. Alright, Cypher. I see a spirit thief over there.
Over here! No, not that way. This way! Come on. If I really wanted to hide, you'd never find me. So relax, you two.
Look at her.
Get your hackles up. I'm not that scary, am I? Meow.
At last, a character that meows has appeared. Ew, what kind of quirk?
No way. Some people might have been into that a millennium ago, but it's long since gone out of style. Loosen up, buddy. Shall we get down to business?
Oh, I love her voice.
Give me the jewelry piece first, or everything's off the table.
And my Dew of Divine Blood.
Oh, come now. Don't be so upset. Relax. Relax. Look, isn't the view here just great? You can see what everyone is doing and where they're going, and they won't even know you're here. Now that we've broken the ice, let's get to the point. Everything I've said so far has been a joke. I'm inviting you two here for 3 things. 1. The seamstress found me, and wants me to take you to Styxia to look for the Death Titan. 2. The Council of Elders also found me, and wants me to make sure the core flame of Thanatos ends up in their hands. And last, but not least, I'm telling you that I'm not interested in doing either of those things. Don't go look for the Death Titan. The end.
Some time ago.
Wow, this is some high-quality stuff.
Oh, she's a little gremlin. Look at that face.
And this room is full of it. How much are these worth, Did you get all this through that Aranova gimmick?
Some of it is family fortune, while the rest came from my business as a dressmaster. Don't liken the flame chase work to your shady dealings.
Wow, I should have busted down your door instead of going around like a thief. Well, spill. Why are you giving me so much money?
Payment for doing work. You're worth this much.
Did you forget my stance to all this? I thought I made myself very clear.
You wish to run away. Run away from your responsibilities, from the prophecy, and from your destiny. You shall walk with greed and die over petty change. I understand this prophecy weighs on you immensely. That is why I have never reproached the demigod of trickery for running away. But I need you right now, so don't turn me down.
You know, maybe the gods got your tongue with their golden threads, Aglaya. I'm not hearing any sincerity in your words. Give me a reason why you're bowing your noble head to me.
We lost Trian.
Oh.
Oh, that shut her up quick. Here, Trian's dead.
The divine power of passages is running out. I need another demigod to escort Castorice and help her fulfill her lifelong wish.
Oh, I get it now. You're sending Castorice to her death. And you want me to die with her.
This is Castorice's own request. I have never seen her so determined.
She brought this up herself? You're not pulling my leg.
She's also made up her mind to leave her confused past behind. As will you, Cypher, when you finally make up your mind.
Don't be so sure. Time is hard in the likes of you and I. But Castorice remains pure as driven snow. She can always turn back before the end, you know? Maybe she'll remember Trian's sacrifice. Maybe she'll remember the countless martyred Chrysos heirs. Maybe she'll remember you, with your one foot in the grave. I ain't as optimistic as you about what she'll want to do. Tell you what. Why don't I take this room of treasures as a security deposit, and we make a bet?
Go on.
I bet she'll change her mind and turn back. Now, if I lose, I'll do what you want me to do. Return this deposit to you, plus giving you another room full of treasures. How does that sound?
You sound like you have all the confidence in the world. In that case, let's make a pact with those conditions. I hope you're prepared to lose it all.
In conclusion, I want to win. So I hope...
So she's not doing this for anyone. She just wants to win her fucking bet.
I'll give all the treasures in that room to you. And you can split it between yourselves, however you want. What do you think? Tempting, right?
I'm almost dead. What use do I have for money?
I decline. If we don't find the Death Titan, her soul will...
Oh?
I can't go into the details, but we have to go to Styxia.
I really don't get how. Princess, homebuddy, you keep talking about needing to find Thanatos, about getting rid of your curse, and you don't care about anything else. But did you ever live for your own pleasure? Even for just one day?
What are you trying to say?
I'm saying, contrary to your beliefs, Aglaya didn't take you in just so you can die for her Aranova.
The flame chase journey walks hand in hand with sacrifices. Isn't that why you're always running away from Lady Aglaya?
Fine. Never mind. We all have our own problems. I ain't gonna say anything anymore.
It's not like I was gonna honor that bet anyway.
But listen to me. Styxia is no tourist destination. Sure.
Yeah, no shit.
Buried in there are 10. No.
Hey, the river Styx, not a nice place. Fucking really? Damn, I would have thought it was going to be paradise.
Yet, I've never been there. And I never plan to. Because even a demigod can't be sure they can walk out of that place alive. And now I'm supposed to escort you to Styxia. Sure. Pay up.
Yeah, how much you want? Aglaya's already paid for me. Is ripping people off the authority of Zagreus' demigod?
You know, you're not wrong. At least it's part of my responsibilities.
I don't like this. However, I have lived a longer life than most people. Though I'm not as good at doing business as Lady Aglaya, I still have some savings.
small thing. I mentioned this back in 3.0, but it's funny how it's still a thing. The way they do the lip tracking for the voice acting is basically it's just like an audio sensor. The louder it is, the more it stretches the mouth, so it makes it look like it's matching it. But Castorice's mouth movements are always kind of off, and it's because of the whispery tone that she uses when she talks. The whispery tone is lowering the decibels enough that like the voice sensor they use, like the mouth tracking, doesn't always pick up what she's saying. So sometimes when she's talking, her lips just don't move until she says something that requires her to put a bit more potency in her voice.
I can give them all to you.
See? It only picked up all to you because it was more potent.
Then how are you going to...
Whilst everyone else, where they talk more detailedly and more like directly, it tracks it properly.
Then I'll give you 90. No, 80%.
Well, don't mind if I do. 80% of Castorice's savings and a bottle of dew of divine blood. Not a bad trade.
Don't forget to give Castorice's jewelry back.
Okay. I didn't know you hold grudges. Gray mystery. Here! Catch.
Be careful with that.
A minor change in plans, though. Don't go to the bath tomorrow. Come look for me at Akima's city gates instead.
So, why are you changing the meeting place?
Oh, nothing really. Just a bit scared of the seamstress's frosty face. I wouldn't stay a second longer in Akima if it were up to me. Well, now that we've struck a deal, why don't I give you guys a lift back? It's gonna be a long ride. So have a good rest.
What's happening? Next day, Akima. Where am I? Is this my room? How did I get back here? Is this a coin? Is it Cypher? She even tucked me in? Never mind, it's getting late. I better get going. Great mystery. These formal addresses at the start of letters is such a hassle, and you've already read 3 useless Phantom Thief letters. I've left Princess Homebody's gift here. Take good care of it. Remember, skip the baths and come straight to Arkham's City Gate to find me. You know I have no patience. Come late and I'll leave you without you. Clear? P.S. I'm the one that tucks you in. You're welcome. Aww. A handcrafted silver ring. If you hold it to your ear, you can hear the sound of melting snow. In Idonia, the departed seal ice and snow into the ring before the final journey, offering it to the living as a token to walk the rest of the path in their stead. When the ice melts and the snow fades, the flowers will bloom and you will find me. Embrace your long fingers. Alright, let's go see where Cypher's taking us. Leave Arkama and meet with Cypher.
Bright and sunny. Just the weather for farewells.
You're here?
Really? Just the 3 of us?
The trio team is the best set up to reach the finals. No need, I already told her. She's fine with it.
Somehow I doubt that.
You sure know how to put me in a spot, Castorice. I need to travel with you, but I can't touch you. What a bother.
Sorry.
Aw, I was just teasing. Don't take it to heart. Did you know that the legends say you have to put an obol into the mouth of the dead or over their eyes if you want them to successfully cross the River of Souls and enter the Netherrealm? That's the fairy fare for entering the Netherrealm. However, I honestly won't ask you to pay this time. I'll pay. And then we'll just have to go through the motions.
You sure are helpful when it doesn't cost you anything. How much have you swindled Castorice of?
Don't worry. It's not a lot.
Alright, pass me me the coin. It's time to get the gods' powers going. A fleet-footed trip to the Nether Realm. Here we come.
I've kind of gathered that Cypher's whole thing is that she's super fast. That's how she managed to, like, rob the Dewblood from us to begin with, that she probably just robbed us at lightning speed.
Oh, one last thing before we go. I gotta give you this piece of advice. Especially to you, Princess Homebody. You can't catch the wind by waiting. You only live once. So make the most of every moment you have. Get ready. Be steady.
Yeah.
Your
Hi.
turn.
Yeah, her whole thing is that she is lightning fast, I get it.
Don't be nervous. After all, it'll be gone in the blink of an eye.
What the fuck? And it'll let me wobble like a statue afterwards. Hey, Cass. Alright.
Are you feeling all right?
Oh. Sorry, that's the head mic. I swear she was speeding.
She's the demigod of trickery. When she flips the coin of whimsy into the air, she gains incredible speed that lets her travel anywhere in an instant.
Oh, it's the coin that allows her to do it.
Just like how she clearly had no intention of lingering here for even a second longer.
Oh, so she's just ditched us here. Alright, see you next patch then, Cass. Cypher, sorry.
Don't worry. Mem's here to help.
Oh, you found your way. Did you pay your fare?
I don't think I even meet the height requirement for the ticket, so I won't need one, right?
This is Styxia.
Styxia.
City of dragons and waves.
Oh, we're here. It's funny how this was like the location. I was like, man, I hope we get to go to this eventually. And now we were literally looking at it.
This is the land of their birth. Or perhaps of their death.
Oh, the music is what the music sounds like something out of fucking Hades. Are there any other clues?
Anaxa had used a secret alchemical art to temporarily fuse his soul with Circe's and Kephae. And when he was on the verge of death, he was pulled by Thanatos and caught a glimpse of the flowing river of souls. This alchemy, considered a sacrilegious act, might actually make the souls of mortals and titans attract each other. Even though Thanatos has been missing for 1,000 years, and even their followers haven't been able to find them. Perhaps that special attraction could summon them here.
Oh, so are we going to use that Philosopher's Stone to conjure the Titan?
I guess that's the only way. The only leads we have now are the name of this city and the fairy tale about the dragon.
Thanatos is even more mysterious than I am.
Indeed. Even one as erudite as Anaxa could only point us to this place, and no further. We will be entering the unknown as soon as we take our first steps. But that won't be the first time in my long journeys. I believe that, rather than standing still, taking action is by far the better option. Perhaps fate might take pity on us today and show some compassion.
Cruel night oppressed unfortunate mortals. So that's the Dragonborn city and find the entrance to the Netherrealm. Oh, and here's the next main area. I see. 37 chests? Oh, it can't just be this. There has to be more then. Unless this is very, like, wide. Dragonborn City Styxia. Part of the Evernight. Oh, ferryman of the River of Souls, where are you? Insects devour my fingers. Wild grass creeps up my back, yet the bell chimes cannot summon you, as they have long since fallen silent in my decaying ears. How haunting. I think that's as much story as we're going to do today, because I imagined, like, the Stixia is going to be a whole fucking thing. And I said I would end this stream doing a little more of this. So we'll do this and then wrap it up. So the next time we meet, we'll do Stixia. So for those who missed it at the start of the stream, this is the new event. It is literally a management game. Very basic, but it is a management game. Bam, bam, bam. Oh, we only have 660 trillion gold. We can't level up any further. Fuck, now what will I do? Anecdote from Fugue. New styles sometimes bring troubles. Take Tinyun's tails, for instance. While they look majestic, the daily grooming and bedtime care now take 9 times longer, really draining her energy. Perhaps you could help some kind. Tail grooming skills. Soft brush a personally groom Miss Tinyun's fur. Ah, the great tail comes great responsibility. Damn, I have 12 of these? Fuck. Hey, Aventurine. Where's Topaz? I know you pair up with Topaz. Oh, fucking hey, Jade. Oh, you also get revenue from Topaz. Oh, okay, so if you have the IPC together, you can get bonuses. Sparks and Swan. Hey, Fei Xiao. So it's 400, damn. Yeah, if we get Topaz, like, getting these 3 in... be insane. This is it, literally it. It's very simple, very addictive, but I find it really charming, so I keep doing it. Alright, what we got here? Fucking take the triple S. Push the speed limit of the flight show. Bitch. Nice. Oh, I have special invitations, but I can't use them. Nice. But I was gonna say, are so many of them really that far off from being done? Come on. Fucking come on. There we go. Now we're ready for Pentaconi. Hey, Silver Wolf, there you go. Thanks for the 810 trillion. This is fucking deranged. I'm just looking at this and I'm like, are you serious? Yeah, I know, level up my assistants. I need to get to revenue level 7. Oh, hey, Albert. Time to beat the shit out of you. Goodbye, my friend. This poor fucking man. Oh, Robin! Hey, baby girl. I shall protect the performance. You go on stage with a speaker, you bring new microphones, you bring the entire stage audio equipment system. Jing Yuan? What the fuck? Assistant start 3-star now, damn. Oh, hey, Jing Yuan. Just speaking of you. Received 600% from Fu Xuan. What the fuck? Hey, finally, there's Topaz. Oh my god. Hang on. Right, and now I need to, like, fucking manage. Oh, I really don't have Fushuan though, but that 600% is fucking deranged. Alright, Marchimu. It's beautiful it's been to have you. I think it's time. Oh, and Jade has to be here, huh? Okay. But that works out, because then I can also replace Sunday. Well, eventually replace Sunday, because I don't have Robin. Oh, hey, Silverwolf. She's like, hey, why did you take me off the team? Oh! So come on, I need to get Fushuan. Hey, Jing Yuan. Get Topaz to level 50. Okay. Oh, I saw that. It said make a connection between the with Jade, Topaz, and Aventurine. What that even is this translate to? After trillions, it goes to AA. What even does that mean in terms of financial wealth? Anyone know? Oh. Increase revenue to 603 trillion per second. Jesus Christ. Hey! Where does Jing Yuan go? Here, okay. Oh, and that's the end of the results. Alright, that's the end of the day. That insanity. Also, did it say Jade was the biggest earner today? She literally joined right near the end. How much fucking money did she make me immediately? But yeah, then they don't really let you do much else after this. We'll spend the rest of our polls. Oh, hey, nice. But yeah, this is the current event, basically. I know it might not be the most fun to watch, but it's really addictive to play. I keep on going back to like all the fucking time. Yeah, there's no one else that would get the boost, so it makes sense. God damn. Look at this, 5.36 AA per second. Well, I don't even know what AA means, like, beyond trillion. But hey, all the shops are open. Holy shit. But we're in a good position. Let me, like, spend the rest of these. Hey, and then I can check how many gems I've got. You know what I'll do? I'll tell you how many gems I got, do some actual rolling for Castorice, and then I will call it a stream. Because we've been going for 3 hours, 45 minutes. That's not a bad length, considering it's a day I'm working. So I need to actually, like, come away soon anyway. And then next time we meet, we'll do Styxia. Which I imagine will be the last major area of the story, so we might get it all done. But that will be Sunday, because tomorrow, like, I was going to today, but I was just really in the mood to do more, so here we are. Tomorrow I'm going to do Atelier Yumiya, and then Sunday, when I have more time, we'll just try and hit the whole rest of the story in one go. Oh, leveling up to on the Star World, but it's a fun event. I kind of like prefer the Monopoly event thing from last time a little more, but it's still nice. From last year. But I digress. I have got 9 rolls. Can I get an extra cast? If I can get the cast to 2, that would be amazing, because it's a huge buff to her dragon. You get 2 basically free charges from the beam. Oh, hey, Gallagher. But I'm not counting my chances. Considering my luck, I'm going to, like, spend the rest of this banner, like, grinding up as many as I can get, and then at the end just lose 50-50 anyway. I know how this works with my HSR luck. But that'll do from me for today. We did get a fair bit done. We've got Styxia to go next. Yeah, Dragonborn City, Styxia. Free Spirit Feast, bruh. Off... I say off-screen, depends if I do or not. It doesn't matter if I don't. Where is it? Dawncloud. I will clean up the rest of the treasure chest in Dawncloud. I'll do the run-through. Because I need to do it anyway to clean up. Tomorrow, so we'll try and do more Atelier Yumiya, start the 3rd region. Saturday, I am going to take off, just I need to sleep. because I've streamed, assuming I don't miss any streams, I would have streamed 6 times this week, including Sunday, so that'd be a lot. But I digress. As always, thank you so much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe if you haven't already. It genuinely helps the channel grow. Additionally, you can find my BlueSky and Patreon in the description of every single video. But until next time, you guys take care now. Peace.